Ladies and gentlemen, fucking crown of thoughts. Maria Jenna Y. It was always Jen Cannon. Obviously, the last name changed.
You're outing me into the
Maria is
world.
not your first name.
It's my middle name.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I was named after a Cabbage Patch doll. Like, my sister had a Cabbage Patch doll, and its name was Jennifer Marie. And my parents were like, that's a good one. But if I was a boy, I would have been Dexter, apparently. So.
Morgan. Oh, from the cartoon.
No, because that was after my time.
Maybe they named
me Dexter because they hate me.
I was named after Hank Aaron, the baseball player. But I went to church and all that, so they always thought it was Aaron from the Bible.
What's that story?
He made this golden calf for all the people to worship.
Golden calf?
Because their religious leader left. I want to say Moses, but I don't know. And then Aaron took over, and he had the people worshiping this golden calf. It was while he was up with making the 10 Commandments. Then he comes back and sees all the people worshiping false gods and smashes the damn 10 Commandments. So
I don't hate this guy. I mean, you're cool, so.
I feel like there could have been more commandments. It's probably oversimplifying it.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Yep.
I've been wondering when you were going to let me on here. I was like, maybe he's just embarrassed to be my friend. I mean, I get it.
Yeah, I was like, fuck her, but then, out of politeness.
Fun. Oh, thank you. Inclusiveness in this 2022 atmosphere.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you can't discriminate nowadays.
No. I'm glad you didn't, because I was sitting at home crying alone. My dog.
Someone told me you have a wide variety of different people, but you've not had a person of color on. It's like if you want me to grab a token black person to throw on here, even though, it's whatever. I actually did ask Mariella on.
You say no?
She said no. Well, she didn't say anything.
Because
she's an interesting character.
Oh, no. Sad face.
But,
yeah. Yeah, so I didn't have these when you...
Yeah, that's brand new.
Well, yeah, like a few of them are. So I had this. I had my koi.
The fish.
And then I had my unalome. And then you know what an unalome is?
No.
So...
Something Indian?
Yeah, it's Indian, and it's your spiritual path to enlightenment from your birth to your death. So it has like birth, your childhood, adolescence, and then your path through your lifetime until ultimately your death. And then I got Elder Futhark on my fingers. It's like old Viking runes.
Oh, that's that shit the Viking metal bands always have. And I'm always like, I don't know what the hell that is. It's Viking shit.
It's awesome, yeah. And then I have Vigsevier, which is an Icelandic pathfinding rune. And this is going to be my Venom arm, because, I love Venom. That's
the comic book?
Yeah.
So, not the metal band?
I haven't heard
Not my old cat that died?
No. Just got sad. Anyway.
I had 2 black cats, but the one had white shit on its face, so I named it Venom. Because Venom was like the first black metal band, but they didn't paint their faces. And the other cat I named Sega.
Are you even a metal band if you don't paint your face?
Not a black metal band. I was in a metal band. I didn't paint my face.
You ever heard of amarth?
Yes. Viking death metal.
Yes. They're like one of my favorite bands. And then I got Jack the Storyteller. He's like a jackalope. He's got antlers and stuff. And he still has background work and whatnot to get
Jackalope's a thing?
It's not like a real thing.
Oh, okay. I saw a fucking it was like a comedy sketch, and it had all these weird animals, and it had the jackalope. I thought they just made it up for that sketch.
No, it's like Gander Mountain, that old hunting store used to make them, and I'm really sad that I missed out on that.
Jackalope.
Yeah, they would use taxidermied deer antlers and rabbits.
My buddy used to steal knives from there all the time. The jackalope's kind of like a Wendigo, is like a deer. It's like a deer monster thing.
It's a cryptide. Like Mothman. Fucking Mothman. But yeah, I don't have like much going on in my life at the moment. Nothing like super rad to talk about at least.
Me either. I got a hangover.
Oh, that sucks. Dude, you need some of that liquid IV stuff. You put it in your water bottle and it's supposed to make your 1 water equal like 3.
Without, because sometimes well, I didn't have like a real, but sometimes it'll be so bad that when you drink water, it like almost shocks you. You gotta start with like fruit juice, and then fucking food, and then water.
Oh.
I don't know. My cats.
Cat doesn't like just checking my bag out.
Cat
though.
likes everybody else.
That's fine. Cats don't like me. I don't like them either, really. I mean, I don't have a problem with them. Like, I got no beef, but
You like fucking dogs.
I do like dogs.
Giant dogs.
I do. Except I do have a corgi. She's not giant, but she sounds like a gremlin in a blender out back when she's playing with the dogs. Like all my neighbors, I'm sure, think it's like my big dogs, and it's just this little like sentient belly lint, like out in the backyard.
Them little, like a little white puffy one. Is
no,
that what that is?
She's not white. She's like tricolored, so she's black, mostly black, and then she's got like brown around the cuff of her neck, and then some white on her head here. But no, corgis are like. People always make memes about how they look like a bread loaf. They have like the short little tails and like the big fat butts, and they're only like this long and about that tall and fluffy as hell.
Oh yeah, so it's just the one I seen was all white. Probably.
I think that was the corgi. It's probably like a Pomeranian. Pomeranians are usually like white. I don't think corgis come in white. They come in like tan. They don't. They come in tan.
They don't carry them in white.
They don't. They don't make them that way. But there, it sounds like there's a market for it. So.
Well, you know, all dogs are bred specific. Like all dogs were wolves.
They're all man-made.
Yeah, because they fed off of people at like fires and shit, and so that's why dogs are reliant on people out of evolution, because they would throw them scraps and whatnot. The wolves.
They say.
And then they bred them.
I could be wrong, so don't Google it. But they say that we domesticated dogs like wolves. And cats chose to domesticate themselves.
Oh, they chose. That's what they're.
Yeah.
Because that was the same shit with cats. They were all big cats.
Mm.
And I know Egyptian people or whoever worshipped them. I don't know. I wasn't Egyptian. They always say this shit like, back then they blah, 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 blah. It's like, you weren't there, motherfucker. How do you know? But,
oh, man.
How do you know? I'm sitting here saying exactly how pets came to be. I think they wanted little cute versions. So they just start breeding them like that.
I don't know, how would you breed a cat down? Because all big cats, well, I guess there are like smaller, like safari cats. That's a good question. Because there's, no, I'm on the spot, I'm not going to know the name of it. There's these savannah cats, they're only like this big.
Oh yeah, I'm buying, well I can't right now because it'll kill that fucker. But I want to buy one. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm looking at.
You might need an exotic animal license, and you might need to have
a license.
Yeah.
Because they're like the size of 2 cats, right? Or,
yeah.
Or 1.5.
You could get like a Maine Coon. You don't
those
need
are
a license.
Those are the furry ones.
Yeah, they're like their face look. They have like a lion's face. They got like the big like snout.
I want to get the one like a standard, not like a furry one, but it looks like a leopard or.
Yeah. Are they? Oh, no, because I'll just sit here on this, like looking at my phone, trying to figure it out.
I'll be sitting here like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I won't do that.
That's happened before.
Really?
Squirrel.
No, not squirrel. Oh man, I love them, Becky and Squirrel. Hi, Becky.
I know.
Squirrel.
I haven't asked them. I will. They're coming back. So I told Squirrel to do his own damn solo episode because he's so good at it, better than me.
He's got lots to say.
When he came on, I just kind of sat here and I'm like, just let this guy speak.
Yep. Take over.
But they had some of the most fucked up stories. I made a. Well, all right. My first attempt at episode 4 got banned because YouTube are a bunch of. Yeah, I know. I wouldn't shut up about it.
Every other message is like, this motherfucker's trying to shut me down.
I hate YouTube are a bunch of fucking pussies. So is Facebook.
Aren't they held by like
losers? I
was gonna say, aren't they all the same?
Yeah. And now I heard Elon Musk said, "Fuck that shit."
I don't
know. Everyone,
dude, some days I feel like we're living. You watch Rick and Morty?
I have.
Okay, have you
I
seen
don't
the
really watch
episode,
it much.
the Get Swifty episode, where big heads come into the atmosphere to Earth and they're like, "Show me what you've got," and everyone's freaking out, and like people start worshiping the giant head in the sky and stuff. And the president contacts Rick and Morty, and he's like, "We need to do something." Apparently, it's like a universal like sitcom show or like dance-off show where these big heads go around and want to see the talent of the planet, and if they don't like it, they blow the planet up. So Rick and Morty's thing was the get swifty, shit on the floor, take off your pants and your panties. Like the end, they saved Earth. But some days I feel like we're living
about
on
being
some
entertaining.
yeah. Some days I feel like we're like that's real. Like they're trying to tell us something. Because like look at everything going on, man. I cannot take this seriously. I just can't. It sounds very
I know
like
because I got Facebook again. I deleted it, get
again,
it back.
I know.
I was actually documenting my emotions from going back on and off, but this time I've been doing the music
Documenting
and the
your
podcast.
emotions.
So I got back on there to promote the reality horror records.
Right.
Guys, reality horror records, shameless plug, and the Crown of Thoughts. And every time I just get sucked into bullshit. Just sucked right into it because someone will say something. Oh,
Your
the
fucking
cat. That
cat
was the
playing
cat.
with my hair.
Oh, the cat's never seen that shit.
Holy shit. It's okay. It's okay. Now that I know what it is. It was just like, I'm here, I'm relaxed. All of a sudden, it's like right on my back.
Weirdo. Well, yeah, I get back on there and I just get, because someone will say something and I can't help it. I'm like, that's so fucking stupid. I just troll people.
Your cat has claws.
I just troll people is what I do.
I was going to move it.
This motherfucker. It's your fault for having long hair. This is the cat's house.
I know.
He can fuck up anything he
I
wants.
know. I should have bought my hoodie in. One for you.
I just start trolling people and it just gets worse and worse and worse because it's so fun.
Yeah.
Like I call people names. I called this one dude a pedophile fag for no reason. Just because he said something stupid and I'm like, I'm an asshole. I should probably get off of here. It's bringing out the worst in me like it does everyone.
You gotta like have some self-control. Like
I've never had that shit.
I know. I get on there and I will like type out a whole thing and then I delete it all. I'm like, do I need to say this?
I used to
Could this
do
be
that.
tracked down later? Yeah.
I used to do that last time I had it, and this time I just send it. I'm like, I don't care. So I'm probably gonna delete it soon. It doesn't even work for promoting shit. Facebook. I'm still trying to figure out how to promote shit. I don't know how.
It's not real. That's what I'm saying. None of this is real, dude. Like I'm convinced that.
Yeah, because I knew nothing about current events before I got on, and then I'm like, I don't need to know any of this. It's just negative.
Like.
And I always have something to say about someone's dumb shit like that. Somehow I got onto this. I didn't friend request it. It just popped up. I don't know how it works,
No,
but it's a bunch of rappers saying quotes.
Yeah.
And the one he's like, oh, what did he say? Like, don't if you diss me or something, I'll bring it twice as hard or whatever. And my comment was, that's how he gets when he hasn't had his nap. Yeah. And like, there's another one. They just kept going. The one I'm like, what the fuck is he even saying? This guy is not Alan Watts.
So I'm like, I always gotta watch with my like theories too. My
yeah, because you'll get banned now.
Because they'll find you, like, But
the feds.
But like,
Nate, say some of your theories. We'll see if we can get this episode
all right,
banned.
so I'm convinced that all of these social media platforms are a way for us to program ourselves into an algorithm that will ultimately be able to upload our consciousness, which they're already talking about. It's not really our consciousness though; it's a copy of our consciousness. But at that point, if it is aware of itself, if it's able to comprehend those feelings, thoughts, emotions, then how is it not conscious? I mean,
I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
Yeah, I mean,
but my theory is different. I think it's based on marketing, so they know exactly. Because I heard.
But all of that's tied into it. It's all tied into it. Like everything that they throw in there. Like my page is like, I keep it pretty like tight. Like I got like 290 something friends, and I only accept.
You should have your own podcast.
Probably.
Oh, you mean Facebook friends? I'm
Yeah.
fucking.
No, I'm sorry. I was thinking of starting a cult. I was like, I could probably do it. People would follow me, but you know. Then
Well, I'm weirded out because I will delete it, and for like a whole year, and I'll live so peacefully, like you see someone out fishing alone, and
because it just perpetuates the negativity. That's all it does.
yeah,
It wants to fill your mind with and this is not discrediting or trying to take away from the horrors and tragedy of the world. I say this safely from the first world, and like it's pretty shitty of me. But at the same time, like we are in the first world and we use social media to like connect with our friends. That's how it was advertised. Connect with your friends, connect with your family. You know, like this is all it is.
I actually do that. It's like every time I get back on, I
Me
hang
too,
out
but
with
they're
another
making
person.
it harder. They're making it harder. So unless you seek that person out, just like you would in real life, you don't come across
Fair
them the way
enough.
that you're supposed to. You don't. It's all like ad for this, ad for that. Like, oh, look at this. Like, and now they're doing the I hate TikTok, dude. Here's why.
I don't know what it is. I honestly don't.
TikTok, remember Vines?
No.
Okay, so like YouTube videos, you can move through the video and you can pick the parts that you want to watch. Well, like, and same with Instagram, you can do that. Well, you know what? I don't know. Actually, I don't. My son, I got Instagram to watch my kid, and like, you know, I don't really mess with it too much. But like, same with Snapchat. But like, TikTok and
Snapchat's for prostitutes, right?
I mean, anyone
Or,
can use
or is
Snapchat.
it
I mean, like, but if you want to pursue that career, I see no reason why you couldn't. You're a fine-looking gentleman.
respectable career?
Yeah, you know, sex work should be legal. Anyway, I'm just saying, like, TikTok has taken away your ability to scroll through the videos, so you have to watch it. So it could be content you actually want to see, something funny, something cute, you know, whatever. But then at the same time, it can be something that like there's one part, so they lead you on, they make you watch all this bullshit, and they just like put all this stuff into your mind, whether it's like it's like thoughtless, mindless shit too. It'll be like, I can't believe this happened, and it's like a guy walking to his car and going to work, and you watch the whole video and you're like,
And
nothing
nothing
happened. And all it's doing is I mean, your brain is constantly like firing and creating, you know, new like pathways and stuff. So it's dulling you down. All that energy that your mind is using to create these new pathways and learn new things and grow and all that, because we're doing that all the time. It's fucking desensitized by this dude going to work, and you're just like, well, what's gonna happen because someone put it on there? But I'm saying I feel like we're in some kind of, I don't even know, man. Like,
we will be.
or we already are. I mean, who's to say?
We
that
know
we're not?
all them smart people that talk say it's more likely that we're in a simulation than not.
Mhm.
I don't know. I'm not a smart person like that. I don't know how they know that. That's what I hear.
Here's the thing. You see, like, there's the genetic pool. The genetic pool, we have like 7 billion people on this planet, and the genetic pool should be pretty large. But at some point, you have to wonder, where do those genes end? Do they? I mean, they do mutate, and that's how we have genetic mutations and all that in evolution and da 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 da. But like, you gotta wonder. Okay, for instance, my oldest son, found this kid from Lebanon. All right, they look exactly alike. Exactly alike. Like, for real. I'll show you the picture. I'm not gonna put my kid on here, but like, it's crazy. Like, glass, everything. And
our
hair.
two viewers might stalk him.
I don't know, man. I'm real protective of my kids and my family. Like, I've been having some crazy stuff go on lately with this girl stalking me, and I'm just like, oh god. She like driving past my house, driving on the opposite side of the road to like come over my house and give me the finger. And
she worked for the CIA.
Definitely not. No, this girl doesn't work at all. But I don't understand it, because I don't have like a cell in my body that thrives on drama and trauma and past all that shit. You know what I mean? Like, just living peacefully is a choice. It's not something that's gonna just come to you. You have to like choose it. So when you want a shit post, you have to choose not to, bro.
It's so fun, and I think I'm just gonna go till I get banned. It's so easy to get banned off of shit.
I'm gonna be getting like text messages like, these motherfuckers banning me. I have 16 other accounts I post on. They're all banned too.
Oh, you can definitely have a whole bunch of different accounts, and you can say horribly offensive shit. forever.
I don't want to put my hair back. I'm gonna get attacked by the lion. You can.
I don't know why. I think they make it fun. Like if they wouldn't do anything to you, it'd get boring. It's like now that weed's legal, it's fucking. It doesn't feel the same. It's not as cool.
So you're living for the thrill.
I mean, and the buzz, but yeah, the thrill, the people you have to hang out with to cop and shit, and now you can just go to the store. I don't.
I just had.
It's mad expensive.
You know what though? I feel like there's business opportunity there to create like somewhat, like an amusement park where you can go and you can just get really, really stoned. And the whole place is set up like a town, and you just have to like stay out of trouble. There's like cops everywhere, and like you steal from convenience stores. You just go and you just like fuck around, and then like whatever team gets caught less and has more merchandise and stuff wins. That'd be cool. It'd be like laser tag for drug addicts. Well, not even drug addicts, just like stoners. I don't want any like crackheads there.
No, but they're the best at stealing shit. They'd win every time. Yeah, it'd be unfair.
You could like pit different substances against it. They'd have to be different legal ones. It'd have
like,
to, because like you can't start this business and then your whole business model platform be on like BYOD, bring your own drugs. Like, I mean,
you should have that certain restaurant.
They should.
You wouldn't even have the crackheads because they wouldn't be able to eat. But they have, I think, not in Pennsylvania because we're always the last to get anything. But I think they got weed bars in other places.
They do.
But it's like,
it's
not like a bar because you'd go there and like
there's
eat
no
like
alcohol,
one edible and then leave. Like you wouldn't even need a bar. They should have both.
Can you imagine? No.
Because every time every time I'm at the bar, after like 3 or 4, I'm like, I'm gonna have to go home unless you let me smoke here. I feel awkward.
You need to get like
alcohol is such a sloppy, nasty.
You need to get like a dry herb vape.
Yeah.
Like a handheld one of packs or something.
Then I'd have to get the damn.
Yeah. Well, you can get the vape without getting the damn.
The fuck is it called? Medical card.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Actually, no, I can get. Anyways. Get that shit anywhere.
But yeah,
the place is crawling with it.
It is. It really is. They need to let all those people out of jail that like just look for possession. Like,
are they gonna let people out? Because when they change laws, they usually just leave the ones that are already there.
No.
Less paperwork. You gotta look at it through their point of view. They don't really give a fuck. The only reason they're changing the laws is because they're sick of dealing with it. It's like once everyone starts to do something, it's causing them too much.
It falls back into my other theory that I think all of that. Why has there been such a war on it, and now they're just like, well, whatever. They're like, you have to have all these serious conditions or anxiety, which like everybody has anxiety. You know what I mean? Like, who doesn't have anxiety?
I got epilepsy, and it doesn't even help epilepsy. It doesn't do any of this shit. It's bullshit. Medical.
It doesn't help your epilepsy? Have you tried like art? Like
whoever said
high concentrate shit?
It makes you confused and shit sometimes. Even it does the opposite sometimes. If it depends. They're talking about CBD, I think, but that don't do anything.
CBD so
that doesn't do anything.
Tip: you ever green out, have some CBD like drops or something nearby, and it'll mellow out the THC effects, so you still get like all the other benefits.
Like I got the fucking what they'd have the little tubes with that you drip of CBD. I drank the whole tube, it didn't do shit.
Well,
and I'm like, these people, because it's a fucking placebo. It's just it's not like 40-year-old women that never smoked before. They're like, ooh, look what I'm doing. It don't do anything.
No, like. It does do something. It does. Because I have fibromyalgia, and before, like, whatever, I was taking CBD, and it does help. But it's different because there's, like, the terpenes and the cannabinoids and stuff. And I'm no expert, but...
Sound like one.
Well, okay. So, there's different cannabinoids in there. THC is one of them. Or it's a terpene. I don't know, one of those. But that one has the psychoactive effects. And then there's all this other shit in there that, like, we can benefit from, and that's why they're doing the research now, because, like, I know there's certain terpenes in there. I have asthma, and I make sure that if I'm gonna take something that I take it with like especially during the summer when shit's real bad. I take out. Don't stare at the door like that, like someone's about to
No,
bust
my
you.
new neighbors are fucking so loud.
I get so like a dog. I'm like, who is it?
No, but you heard that noise.
I did hear it. I get nervous about everything. But anyway, it can help things like pain or like if you have a chemical imbalance in your head, it helps with that. Like, but it depends on the terpene. So there's like research that you should do into it if you're gonna actually use it
You
for
think?
something other than THC.
Because I had a theory that.
No, I know. I can tell you right now that like, okay, I was able to get off my ADHD medication that I was on for like 15 years. I was
Adderall.
They had me on
You
60.
still got any?
No.
All right. That's
No.
how all my YouTube stuff is thanks to Adderall. Shane, this episode sponsored by Adderall, and this shit Stella Arts. I always pronounce it wrong. All right, go on.
What is it?
This stuff, fancy people beer, so
Stella
they can feel some
Artois.
kind of way about it.
I am Coke.
And that Coke.
Yeah. But my
The
point is,
drink.
you can look for these different terpenes. Some of them help you sleep. So if you get the higher concentrate, like a strain with a higher concentration of that, you get that benefit. CBD can have all those terpenes. The difference is it doesn't have THC. It has CBD in it. Like, it's just another terpene.
You think there's different types of CBD?
There's ones with
Maybe it
just
just
different.
didn't do shit to me personally, because
Well, it depends what you're trying to use it for. Like CBD is not one. Like weed, you can smoke weed and you're gonna have an effect because weed has THC. CBD is different because it's like you kind of want to use
you
it
don't feel
symptomatically.
it.
So like
It don't give you a buzz.
it doesn't. It
use
doesn't
it for
give
some
you a
weird
buzz.
reason.
It doesn't because it doesn't have THC.
That might have been what it was. I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
come on, man. What
But
I'm waiting for?
if you would have greened out, if you would have like been way too high and you did that, it would have brought your high down for you.
Down.
Like it would have made it so you weren't like throwing up and greening out and feeling anxiety, because like some people get anxiety from weed. So CBD will counteract that. It doesn't totally take it away, but it levels the playing field for sure.
And I will say this, the anxiety thing, I was always like, what the fuck? I get anxiety when I stop. But now it's like, and this dude told me once at the bar that he had to stop smoking as he got older because it made him nervous. Now it's starting to do that. Like I'll get home and pack one and smoke it and be like, dude, I wish I wouldn't have, man. Now and I feel like such a wuss because of it, but I might be headed that direction.
This stuff.
Where it's like, I can't do this no more.
I get that down at Nibbana Life, right there by Wise. And they make it themselves. And, like, that's full spectrum. So it kind of has that one. It's not like a dispensary. Dispensaries are where you're going to find the information that has all your terpenes and stuff listed
Delta
out.
9. There's another Delta, right?
Delta 8.
Yeah. So they sold that at the beer store.
Uh-huh.
I bought a whole
That's
bag of gummies of Delta 8. I ate the whole bag. It didn't do
Delta
shit.
8 isn't it? It's Delta 9. What you want?
They said it had 0.3% THC or something.
Oh, that's shit. Yeah, Delta 9.
I don't know, but I ate the whole bag and it didn't do anything. I'm like, that's a farce. Like, that's another marketing thing.
Farce.
Or whatever.
This is a farce. It's been a
I
ruse.
couldn't come up with a word quick enough. But the CBD, I always thought of it as a marketing scam.
No.
But I don't have, maybe it's because I don't have any.
Well, if you're just like smoking weed, that's one thing. You can get greened out for sure. But if you're taking like RSO, it's Rick Simpson oil, and it was created as a cancer treatment, and it works. Like it does. Not
like a painkiller.
Well,
Or,
it can actually keep it from spreading, and it can shrink tumors.
oh, really? Actually,
yeah,
not just like to help you.
It was
not
originally
suffer.
created for skin cancer. You put it topically, but you can ingest it if you have cancer in your body, and it's been used as a cancer treatment. You have to work your way up to seriously high doses, and I'll tell you right now, like a grain of rice size dose, up for like 12 hours. Like it's just so that CBD comes in handy because I've measured it on candy. I already started talking. I was like, I'm not going to say I did anything. Here I am.
It's like, we're not going to talk about nothing, no weed. That's all we
Keep
talk
it
about.
above board. I know. I have a big fucking mouth. But, yep. if you're doing that kind of stuff, then the CBD really comes in handy because you're not coming out of that. Whereas like you smoke weed and you're like, you got like your hour peak. This is like 3 hours later. You're like, and for cancer treatment in the body, they want you to work up to an entire gram a day, which is an entire syringe. So it's like I can't even.
I got so reliant on caffeine. I would literally hit days where I took a gram between all my energy drinks and coffee. Because I keep track mathematically. I don't think people even think about caffeine in terms of like a cup of coffee is like 90 milligrams. So a gram is like a dozen cups of coffee or something.
That's like, whoa, yeah, that's like.
And then it don't do nothing. It just wears your brain out.
You just feel like shit.
Yeah.
Like fucks your guts up.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
Like, but then when you drink that much caffeine, like at work, I'm like really tired, and then I drink it, and I'm not tired. I don't get like what it does to a normal person, where they're like grinding their teeth and running.
Lunch,
I don't feel it at all. I just know when I don't drink it, I'm like lagging.
Yeah.
And that's what happens.
I take.
Like people in Alcoholics Anonymous, that's probably what happens to them. They drink so much coffee.
Oh yeah.
They should have to after Alcoholics Anonymous, they should have to go to Nicotine and Caffeine Anonymous.
You know what though? Like I've known because I used to drink. Like I don't drink anymore. At first, it starts off just like
you used to. Back in the day.
Careful.
You could drink more shots of Jack Daniel than I could.
Yep.
I'd be like, oh god. How the fuck?
I think it wasn't even Jack Daniel. It was like
Old
Crow. It was like the worst.
Old Crow and then 10 High. I had to switch because Old Crow got so nasty. It always was nasty, but
yeah. But yeah, I was known for being able to put it away and not puke, and like when you're like a teenager doing things you shouldn't be doing, all your friends are like, yeah, that's awesome, and then like one day I went home and I had drank too much and I was like, it looked like blood. Maybe I ate something red, but at the time I didn't know that, because I was young, and I'm like, I need to go to the hospital.
My mom's like,
been. You're drunk. She's like, go sleep it off. I fucking crawled to my neighbor's house and had them call an ambulance because I had serious alcohol poisoning.
I can see her saying that. Every time I'd come home drunk, my parents would know, even if they weren't there. Moms know. I'm like, how in the fuck?
Dude.
But then the one time she woke me up saying, you were out drinking. I'm like, there's no way she could have known. And then I walked to my sister's room across the hall. I'd thrown up in her room, and then my bumper was missing off my car.
Oh shit!
And I don't know how. I don't remember what happened, but apparently I wrecked or something, and then puked in my sister's room. I guess that time it was obvious.
That's bad,
but
dude.
Other times it's like, how the fuck? They just know.
Well, you can smell it too. Neighbors are making me nervous with that loud shit.
I feel like the dude on Gran Torino. And someone, because
with your shotgun?
I went out there and I was ready to be like, dude, shut the fuck up. And then I'm like, they're hanging out in the summertime on their porch having a good time. And I'm that guy. I'm the dude from Gran Torino.
And you like bought your house smack up against other people's houses.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of your fault too.
It's because at the time I bought the house when I was 21 or 22. And so this was the cheapest area to live in.
How old are you now?
38. So I've been here, and then
we're getting old. We're getting old, man.
Yeah, but obviously, because in my life, when I look back, I did so much shit. There's been so much to it. Eons of shit. Like when I was 4, living in D.C., walking around and found this snake in the street. Went to my dad, and I'm like, there's a snake in the street. And he went and caught it and put it in a cage. Blah, 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 blah. This happened. Now I live in Pennsylvania. Now I'm in high school, or I was in elementary. Then I graduated, and I did this, and I did this. So when I think about it, of course I'm 38. Right? There's been a whole bunch of shit happen.
All right.
It's not surprising.
I'm gonna.
It's what I'm trying to say.
I'm gonna reiterate it for you. The story you just told me.
I'm not
journey.
going through the whole.
It's okay. You found a snake.
Me and my sister.
And you put it in a cage. And now you're 38. I mean,
a whole bunch of shit happened. I
No,
can
I
go
know,
over
I
all of
know,
it, but
no,
it'll
I
take
know, I
38
know.
years.
I know. You want to hear some weird shit though? It's just funny that you went back. You remember this animal that you saw in the street. Like
Oh,
this,
yeah.
This must have been during like a formative time in your memory because you remember
There are
that.
specific things that I remember that I shouldn't remember.
Did you ever think
Does
of
that
writing
happen
down? Yes. On the way over here, I saw a white fucking owl flew right over my car and down into the trees. A white fucking owl. I was just like, and I drive a 6-speed now, so I like couldn't, get my phone out and like do anything because I was trying to shift and watch traffic. I was like, what the fuck? I've had some weird creatures come to me. A black mantis.
I've never seen a white owl. Is that even?
It was huge.
Aren't they supposed to be around at night?
Yeah,
Like
I was
in
all
some other
owls.
state or some shit?
Yeah, it was like a snow owl or something. Unless it like got out of someone's house, I don't know. But I've had like a black mantis pop up at my house, and like it was doing weird shit.
Like a praying mantis?
It was on my back door, and like I didn't think anything of it at first. I was like, I'll let it fly away. And then it didn't, and it was there the next day, and like it moved, so it wasn't dead. And this time it was actually on the glass door, and it was like eye level with me, and I'm like, oh my god, I had to let my dogs out. I was like, this motherfucker's gonna fly in my house. It's gonna get in my hair. I'm gonna be like screaming at the top of my lungs like a psychopath. And so I'm like looking at this thing, and I'm like tapping the glass. I'm like, you need to go. And it's not moving. It's not phased me. It doesn't give a shit about me. And so I call my husband at the time. And I was like, there's this black praying mantis. Like when you get here, if it's still here, I need you to shush it away, because I tried to shush it away yesterday, and I thought
Aren't
it
they
flew off.
nice?
Yeah, I don't know.
Was it
I haven't
different than
talked
a
to one
typical?
personally. Well, no, except this time I did. But listen, you gotta hear
All
me.
it would do is complain all fucking day.
Well, I was like, look, I was like, you need to go. I'm like, you cannot come in my house. And then this thing, like, I'm just like, talking shit to it, and it starts to like, I've never had a bug look at me, dude.
Typical thing to do.
It was like, yeah, it was turning its head like this and like looking at me, and it was like observing me, and I was like, all right, tell me what you gotta tell me, get the fuck out of here, like this is creepy. It sat there. I took a spray bottle and I like sprayed it off my door, and it fell on the stair, and I like sprayed it, and it crawled under the steps, and I was like, okay, we're done. Then like an hour later, I go to let my dogs out, and it's sitting, like you open my back door, and to the right, there's a railing that comes all the way up to the house that I built, and it's sitting right on the top of this railing with its wings out, and they're just doing this. There's no sound. They're just doing this, and it's looking right in my door, like it could have flown right in at my face.
That's what they do.
But it came back, dude. It was under the stairs, okay? And that means it crawled out, crawled back up, and positioned itself, for like an attack or something. No, it wasn't gonna attack me, but it was just vibrating its wings, and I was like, what the fuck?
It was black.
It was all black. It was
because I've never seen that. I've seen them like the color of grass or whatever.
I've never seen one
color.
like this. That's why I called my ex-husband, because it was weird. It's black like your hat, like your clothes. Like it was not speckled or gray or like brownish tones. It was fucking black, and I've never seen a black praying mantis.
Maybe someone took a Sharpie to it. The last house it was in, that it wouldn't let that person go. Dude,
no, I'm telling you, it was warning me of something. That came later. But like this thing, I'm dead serious. I'm dead serious, dude. But this thing was like doing its wing thing at me, and I'm like, I shut the door real quick. I'm like, oh my god, it's gonna fly in here. And it crawls back over onto the window and comes back up eye level with me. And now it's fucking tapping with its little hand on the glass.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, all right.
And you can't kill it.
No.
It's illegal.
Well, not just that. Like, I'm not going to kill it. You know what I mean? I was just
They're
like...
a protected
They're
species.
Something. So I sat there and I stared at it for a while it stared at me, and we did a couple like head things at each other. And then...
Did you have a decent conversation with it?
I did have a decent conversation with it. It gave me some good information, actually.
See, now, I was joking.
I wasn't.
What did it say?
It didn't say anything, but
Or is
when you look at like the indigenous belief of like these spirit animals that come to you and to forewarn you or whatever. You can interpret anything in life this way, you know, but I am that kind of person. I kind of pull from a bunch of different things in life. That's part of my belief system. But anyway, so a mantis apparently means you need to like camouflage yourself. And there's something coming and you need to sit back and be more observant than you are involved.
Stay in the background.
In the coming days. And I'll tell you what, it was true. I can't talk about specifics.
About it too personal. Like I should do with Facebook. Just stop being like, dude, that person's fucking retarded. I'm gonna let them know.
Like, I can't talk about it because I don't want to drum up the situation again. But essentially, there was.
I guess you wouldn't be camouflaging if you blasted it out on all 5 of my viewers.
Yeah. Don't want them to know. They're never gonna.
And all the viewers are the people that have been on.
Yeah.
And me, so obsessively, compulsively rewatching everything, smoking joints. No, I'm joking. I do that with the music page, though. I know because there's only 20 subscribers.
You gotta have me on there. I will freestyle battle you. I'm good at that stuff.
Well, I just have a record label, basically. I've done so much music, and this other dude, Cynical, who disappeared, but he flew here from California.
I was gonna say that was the guy that was here.
He was on this episode, or he was on this show like 4 times while he was up here, but he disappeared. But between me and him, we have infinite music.
That's cool.
I can just keep posting and reposting it in different forms and shit, but no one watches it. Like I said, except me. I listen to it all the time.
Have you tried like wearing something skimpy?
No, it's just CD. It's just albums and
shit. I know, I'm just joking. I'm just talking with you.
And I tried to get like rap groups, like Facebook rap groups, and post all the things. And I get on those little groups and look at it, and I'm like, dude, this is so stupid.
Well, like there is a whole like way to market it on Facebook, and I can show that to you at some point. That I do understand.
I don't know how to do that. And then the rap world is so irritating because like everyone's so cool that's a rapper, and it's like, dude, it like when I would do the shows.
Like, facetious, like they're cool, or
they
like,
think they are.
Oh, okay.
Because they can they can talk poetry over a beat, and they're like, dude, I'm awesome. Or they think they're supposed to be awesome because of the scene. And like I was, when you go to the punk rock and shit, everyone's cool.
Yeah.
They're like, I'm just a person. You go to a rap show, and it's not everyone's like that, but it can be irritating. And then I'm trying to promote shit, and I'm like, dude, this is gay.
Are you doing it in like the right type of rap? Like
no, that's I don't know. I know because this is the thing when you promote something like that, you don't promote it. You don't promote it to your friends. You promote it to your fans or whatever. The people that you go where you're wanted. The people that like that shit.
Yeah.
Because I can send that shit to all my friends, and maybe they listen to fucking Mozart or something, and they're like, I hate rap. So they're not going to listen to it.
Yeah.
It's basically me saying, look what I did. Like, that's basically what I'm doing. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Without trying, but I don't know. I don't know how to do that shit. I got 20. I probably got like, I designed a page. It's got a lot of cool artwork, cool imagery, logo, all that shit. It's got like 1,000 albums on it and 20 subscribers.
Did you buy your domain?
It's a YouTube page. Don't I own it?
But you should buy your domain.
I don't know what that means.
For your name. I'll explain it then. Or I can explain it now.
Yeah, like copyright the.
When you're starting any kind of business or label or whatever, you want to buy your domain name, your such and such.com or .net or .org or whatever. You can choose
whatever the YouTube page is called or whatever its address is.
Yeah, well, you want to do it so that you can also post on the site because like not all content is available in every country. Or every like region even on YouTube, depending where you're from, just people can't view certain things and it'll just tell them. But you can have in your description your website, your domain. People can go to your website where you also upload your music, offer your merchandise.
Like a website that's not YouTube, not on a social media.
Yes. Like
just a standard.
Yep. So the way that you do that is you go to a hosting company like let's just use like GoDaddy or something. Go to GoDaddy. search your domain name, see if it's available. If it's available, you can buy it for like $20 a year. It might be more, it might be like 50, but I don't think it's any more
Not
than that.
much.
Yeah, a year to own it. So nobody else can create that, and you own it. And when you go to it, it'll go to your website. Now that's separate from having somebody host your website, which I think GoDaddy also offers, but there's like tons of website creators out there. So once you have the domain, you would enter it into the website creator. You'll probably have to pay like $20 or something for the year for them to host your site. So now you have two different entities. You have your domain name host and you have your website host. And depending who you use for your domain name, you can probably do the same company, and they'll offer you like a deal, like, hey, we'll register your domain name and we'll host your website. You can create your website here and then upload it, and then when people go to www.insertdomain.com, it'll go to your website. So you want to do that because then it's separate from being reliant on like social media.
Because YouTube's technically, I never thought of it that way, but YouTube is social media.
Yes, and it doesn't belong to you.
Yeah, because then like, oh, so if I have the standard page, can I post horribly offensive stuff without getting banned if I wanted to?
Like on your own website?
Probably not, because Google owns it. They're a bunch of commies.
Well, no, it depends. Well, Google, that's a thing too. Like, so that's a third separate thing. So you have your domain name. You want to get that first. You have where you want your website to be hosted from, and you want to create your website. Then you can do things like pay an extra fee, and whoever's hosting your website will say, okay, we'll make sure that this pops up in Google searches or ask.com or Bing. You can pay to have your stuff pop up like first, you know.
Wow.
Google can choose, or any of those search engines can choose to stop giving results when people search you if you do things that are offensive or anti-Semitic or, you know.
I know from experience.
Stuff like that.
They took my money.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm like a plethora of good for nation, you know.
Well, then, like, so it's separate from all that. Like, it's its own. It's separate from Google.
Yes. So you can because Google's just a search engine.
Yeah.
All Google does is like Google exists out here, and then people pay Google to run their ads because a lot of people use Google. If people didn't use Google, it wouldn't have shit, you know. But companies will actually pay Google to run their ads, to promote their businesses, to have their information pop up first, to give everything like hours, times, website, phone, you know, all that information.
Oh yeah, so you can use whatever the like Yahoo or Google or whatever, and go to this, end up at the same website.
Yes. Yep. Because your website is separate. So you got your website and domain name like here. I'm trying to like keep it in frame. I'm like over here. Your website and domain name like right here, and then you have like who's hosting those things, and those belong to you. And then you have things like Google, Ask, Bing, that you can pay to bring your results up. And
so
it's
that's
not expensive.
basically
it's like
all you're saying is to do your own site that's yours.
I would suggest having your own site that is yours, making sure that you fill it in on the description on all of your pages that you use, your Facebook page, like for your like music that you're trying to promote. And you can even offer like merchandise. Okay, so even though
that's what I want to work up to, because I can't think of a way.
Easy. Number one, I know a graphic designer. It's me. But yeah, so even if you have your own
my logo looks better than whatever you would have. I'm fucking with you.
Next episode, we take a fucking vote. No, no, like I'll have to bring my iPad just so I can discredit your theory. Anyway,
you're a graphic designer.
I am a jack of all trades.
You do art. Is that what you were? I seen art or something on your thing.
Art.
On
like,
your Facebook thing,
yeah,
you had like a picture.
Like I have a site, Soviet Designs, and like I just kind of, I have a bunch of talents, and I've never like as a child I was never like, my parents never like kind of cultivated any one of those.
I had that
me.
shit. Well, for me, I just thought I sucked at everything, and as I got older,
Like,
I'm like, oh, I don't actually like. There's most people can't do this thing or that thing. I didn't realize.
You know that saying though, right?
What?
I'm the jack of all trades, the master of none, but still always better than the master of one.
No, I never. I heard the first part
Mm-hmm.
before.
That's how it goes. It's true, because when you're innately talented to be able to do something, and then you actually put your mind and your energy into it, you can usually have it come out because you're detail oriented in it, like just naturally. And some people have to learn that.
Comes natural. Like
you know
for
how,
me, when I stop doing art, I don't feel right. Like I don't do it because I want to be famous. I just feel weird if like if I go a long period of time and don't do anything creative, I just start dying inside.
Yeah.
Basically.
I get that. You have to like create. It's something that I think everybody should have this. I really think people that like
Mario just got another coin.
He did. I really feel like
well, everyone's not that way.
I know, but you know what? Like
some people, like if they're not doing something real boring to me, like real not creative and detail oriented, and if they're not doing something like that, they feel weird.
Yeah, I mean,
my sister, I mean, she's not doing boring stuff, but she's real. If she's not doing something that's real meticulous, or something, or reading a lot, or exercising, or running, or whatever, she don't feel right.
Yep, it's weird how like the brain chemistry
but
works.
Anyway, yeah, everyone's got their thing.
Everyone has their thing, yeah, and like it's kind of now I'm finding myself in a place in my life where I've kind of like woken up from the person that I was, and like I've been so many different versions of myself. We all have, you know, but at the end of 2020, like something happened to me, and I realized I needed to like change myself, or I was inevitably going to be the end of myself, you know. So I started making these changes. February 2021, I got all my shit straight, all of it. Not that my things were out of place, but like you can be a functioning fuck up, you know, and like I was doing things that I look back on now and I'm just like, why did I like say that, or why did I do that, or why did I go and burn that bridge, you know, out of, and you know, you look back through your life and like I did all this crazy like healing shit that I didn't think I was gonna fucking come out of. Like I thought for sure it was gonna like take me under mentally. But I went back through it and tried to really find like my origin story as to why the fuck I am the way I am, and who I want to be as a person, and not who I think I need to be due to other people's perceptions for their acceptance and stuff like that. Not saying I was walking around trying to like be a social cartoon and like fit everybody's, you know, little image of me, but you know, you have those certain people in your life, whether it's family or friends, and they have expectations of you, or you perceive it that way.
For me, I thought they did.
Yes.
I thought they did, and then I called it imposter syndrome. That's a psychological term, but
it is.
I thought that these people thought I wasn't good at this and that, or like generally people don't think about you at all. They don't give a fuck, and that's actually a good thing.
It is.
But like, you're talking about the parents thing. That's where it was. Yeah. With me, because I grew up in a religious environment, and
yeah, so did I.
I thought like I was supposed to. Anyway, I didn't give them enough credit, because eventually I'm like, guys, I don't really believe in the Bible.
Yeah.
And I hid it from them for a while, and then they're like, oh, we thought something was really wrong with you. Why don't you just say so?
Yeah.
And then as I got older, I'm like, I still smoke pot, and they're like, well, don't stop because you're cranky as fuck when you. They don't swear, but they're like, please do. You know, stuff like that. Yeah. They don't. There's a lot of parents that are Christians that are not that way at all. They're real strict.
Oh yeah.
And I didn't give my parents enough credit. They're pretty damn open-minded.
Well, we learn that as adults, you know.
And then that goes to friends. Even like I talked to people from the past, from high school and shit, where I thought I was the biggest loser in the world, and they're like,
I thought I was too. I thought people hated me.
They're like, you were cool, man. You did, blah 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 blah. Anyway, that's.
No, I get it.
That's what you're saying, though.
Yeah, like, and I thought the same thing about myself. Like, I really thought people hated me and disliked me all through school. I know you did. It's fine. I got the fucking hate mail. But, like, I'm finding out now that, like, no, people, I know I was very aggressive. I'm still kind of aggressive, but I like loose off, you know. But I don't know. Like I thought I needed to be a certain person, live in a certain type of house, have, you know, so I like kept moving my pieces around the game board of life, you know, to make sure that I could do what was expected of me, and then I could receive the love that, you know, I thought was waiting for me at the end of that tunnel. And at the end of that tunnel, all I found was just the same repetitive bullshit. And I was like, something's got to change. So I came to this mindset over the course of a very long time, and there were like really dark moments. And I'm telling you this because I think like people need to know about it. When I've come out of it, huh?
It happens to a lot of people, and
Yeah.
they don't know.
Yeah.
They don't know really what's going on in there.
I do feel that if I had a purpose, it would be to like tell people these things, you know, because people need to know, like, we're so quick to label and say something is wrong with you when in reality you are having a fucking experience and it's completely normal and it's actually imperative to your growth as a person and a being in general to have these experiences and these dark moments and these really light moments. And rather than, I'm not saying that like mental illness doesn't exist. It's not at all I'm saying. I'm just saying I think that there's
That's
a lot
whole
more.
topic.
It is, but I'm just saying I think there's more normalcy to these crazy ups and downs that we have as people. And because we are so quick to diagnose them, we almost stop the growth process.
Like ADD. There's nothing wrong with that. It's not. It's just a way of. It's just a part of someone's personality.
Yeah.
The only reason, because in psychology, they're not saying that there's something wrong with you. They're saying that there's something keeping you from fitting into the structure of society, which you need to do to a degree to function. That's all they're trying to say. Even most psychologists don't even know that. Don't even understand this. ADD means you have trouble focusing in school.
Yeah.
Like ADD in a job like I have makes you a superhero. You can do all these things all at the same time.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with it.
Yep. Now me.
Manic depression, which I believe I have.
Yeah.
Maybe nothing wrong with it, but it sucks.
Yeah. I used to have, like, for years and years and years. And I tried taking, like, serotonin inhibitors. Like, I tried taking Lexapro. That did something weird to me. Like, I was feeling, like, electricity in my brain. It was not good. I was having all these thoughts that I felt like weren't mine. And I was, like, stopped taking it. So I was like, oh, my God. Like, I can't take this. I took
serotonin inhibitors?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Don't you have lack of serotonin with that? Or
well,
I guess
things that affect your things that you have to take over a long period of time. Maybe serotonin inhibitors aren't the right thing, but like I've used that term with my doctor and they've used.
What's that? SSRI?
Yeah.
What's that?
Those are the serotonin inhibitors. Yeah, those are the drugs that you take over. Like you have to take them every day in order for them to be effective. And there's always like there's a withdrawal from them, even though you're not taking it.
Is that what Xanax is?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you can go into seizures.
No, Xanax is a benzo. It's different.
Oh yeah. And benzos and alcohol are both
Zoloft is a SSRI. Okay, that caused a blind spot in my vision.
They wanted me on something like that, and I know enough about it to be like, that's a dumb idea.
Don't. I mean,
I can't believe it. Like I don't think it does very much except fuck your brain up.
It makes you stop feeling. Like mine, it gave me like
it did all that.
Dude,
that must be awesome.
No, but
people spend their whole lives and millions of
feeling anything though.
People ruin their whole lives trying to get rid of all feeling.
I know. Not like this though. This is like different. You almost feel robotic because you still go through the motions of your everyday life and you still have these responses, but you feel nothing. It's like you're on autopilot and you're kind of sitting in your head on a couch and you're like, let me out. You know, like it's a really strange feeling. I took Zoloft for like a couple months and developed a blind spot, and I had to go and like have my eyes looked at, and I had one of the rarest side effects
from it. Because like when I get real stressed out, sometimes my eye will do shit. It's not that.
No, it's like a blind, like there's a spot in my vision that I cannot see. Now my brain makes up for it. Like I notice it more when I'm watching TV.
It's still
looking
there.
At the screen. Mm-hmm. And it's been years since I've taken that stuff.
This episode is sponsored by Zoloft.
It's not.
And what was the other thing? Fucking
Adderall.
Yeah, Zoloft and Adderall. crunch them up and sniff them together, guys.
Do not do that.
Get back to me. Leave a comment how fucked up you got.
That is bad advice.
And then sue me, even though I'm not selling nothing.
Not me. I'm LLC. Okay. Just so we're clear.
LLC.
Limited liability.
Oh yeah, yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Wash all that down with one of these motherfuckers. All right.
Yeah. I don't know how long these go for.
So, it usually is 2 hours.
Okay.
But when I feel like the other person's kind of wore out, I just stop.
Do you think I'm wore out?
No.
Okay. I was gonna say,
honestly
I was
won't
like, I got
shut up.
so fuck you. I can keep going. But yeah. No, like then there's fucking benzos, which is like Xanax.
Those should not have ever existed.
Mm-mm.
Because I know people that were prescribed anthrax. I just thought of anthrax and that were prescribed Xanax.
Oh, I was like, what?
That shit, that's a bad idea. But they take it and they can't get off it. It's worse than like heroin. They just cannot get off it. And if they do, they go into psychosis.
It's what I'm
seizures.
saying. It changes your brain chemically. It changed mine in a way that I was able. I'm hyper in tune with my body. Like that's a whole nother fucking story. But essentially, that's how they found my heart problems and all that stuff. Like, and I can hear my eyes move all the time. I didn't know that other people could not hear their eyes move until I was like 12 or 13.
I think once when I was on mushrooms, that happened.
No, I can hear my eyes move all the fucking time. Like I'm underwater. Like there's water in my head and it's like, I thought everyone could. But I have a birth defect that like my inner ear has a little hole in it or something, like in the bone.
Oh, that's what it's from.
Mm-hmm.
What's the heart? Is that palpitations?
So I have an electrical problem with my heart. So like my heart, the muscles are strong, the tissue's strong, but it doesn't fire properly all the time. So sometimes like you have your 4 chambers of your heart and it's supposed to.
Wolf Parkinson's white? Oh no, you said it was something else. You just said.
What the fuck did you just say?
I had Wolf Parkinson's white.
Oh no, this is Mobitz.
Mobitz.
Yeah, or funnier name for it is Wiggy-Bach.
When I was a kid, my heart would skip a couple parts of it, and and my heartbeat would be like 300 beats a minute.
Yeah.
And I'd have to squat like I'm taking a shit, and then
Yep.
it would go back to normal. They burnt part of my heart out, and then it was fine.
See, mine is it's dropping beats. So like, I have this little EKG machine, and it's like a little portable one. I don't actually have it today, or I'd show you. It's actually pretty cool. But you can see it. I have to carry it because sometimes like it'll totally drop beats out. But luckily the beat right after is like extra strong to move the blood through my heart. So it is moving the blood through my heart, but like I have the resting heart rate of like a trained athlete, and I am not a trained
like
athlete.
A sniper.
Like my resting heart rate.
Isn't that good though?
50, 55.
I guess the resting heart rate thing, but not the rest of it.
Well, I'll need a pacemaker at some point, but to do it now, like I'm heading up there towards 40. They usually don't like to put them in unless it's like imperative, and since my heart's still pretty strong, it's still moving the blood through. It's just super uncomfortable.
Don't fix something that I don't need fixed.
Yeah,
because
they'd have to do it again in my lifetime, so it'd be like 2 heart surgeries, and I'm like, and they're like, this isn't life-threatening. He actually said he's like, a lot of people have this and don't know they have it. They just think they're having anxiety or something, and so they live their whole lives with it. So I'm hoping that it doesn't like.
Yeah, a lot of people don't understand heart palpitations and shit aren't as dangerous as you think.
Yeah.
Just because your heart's important, but sometimes it'll do weird shit, and it's actually not as dangerous as you would imagine.
Yeah.
Not good. But.
Yeah. I don't really get like the super fast ones though. It's crazy though. Like so in 2020 when I like decided I need to change my life, my resting heart rate was like 85, right? And since the end of 2020 till now, my resting heart rate is between 50 and 55. Normal? Between 50 and 90 beats a minute for an adult at rest.
Okay.
And then like my blood pressure, I lowered that way
And like if you're fat, it'd be more.
Probably your blood pressure would be up too.
And that'd push it through faster.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been a crazy fucking ride. But like, I don't know, like Adderall and all that. I could have gotten it from like a virus. That's what they said.
Could have been caused from Adderall. How long did you take that?
Like 15 years.
Yeah.
I took myself off of that. It got to the point where like I was getting into these like unhealthy habits of like I took my Adderall and I'd go to work and then I come home and I'd like drink, and like not because I wanted to drink.
It's the best when you drink.
But yeah,
Adderall, you almost have to or you freak out.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So like it's not just me. Like.
No, because if I get it, well, anyway.
No, I get it. Like no, you're right because there would be like a certain time too of the day where I would like my brain would like switch into gear and I'd start thinking about it. And I don't have an addictive personality. Like there's not one thing that I do every day that is the same outside of like routine. And I have Coke Zero, because I don't drink coffee and stuff. But I'll have like one of those a day if I have any at all. And like when I was taking the Adderall, I noticed as I was growing, because like I said, 15 years is a long fucking time. So since I was in my 20s, like I changed chemically as a person, and then taking this stuff, it changed how it was affecting me, and it got to the point where I had like no emotion. Like I had emotion sometimes, but like no emotion, or I was like easily set off about stuff. It made me like irritable, and then I drink, and I wasn't processing it. When you take Adderall and you drink, you don't process it the same as when you don't take Adderall and you drink.
You need lots of water. Adderall dehydrates you like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
I can't believe they gave that to me they gave me amphetamines in high school.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I'm like,
Like when I say right now that I took a bunch of Adderall to learn how to teach myself YouTube, I almost don't want people to hear that. But I don't care if they, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's bad.
It is bad. It's real bad for you. Like
my mom gave it to me when I was 14.
Dude, they like makes me wonder.
Well, they didn't know. Oh, I mean, the parents didn't know. It was a science experiment that when they dropped the original Ritalin, it was us.
Yeah.
We were the first, and then they're like, "Oh, it's causing that disease where you say weird shit without trying." Tourette's. It's causing Tourette's and this and that. And it's like, all right, let's try to make a new form. Adderall, because I don't think they make Ritalin anymore.
Yeah.
They do?
I think.
Ritalin was like the weaker one.
Mm-hmm.
And then Adderall came out, and I was like, this one's better. And then they had Vyvanse. Did you ever take Vyvanse?
No.
Oh my God.
That good?
It's like a street. Vyvanse is strong. And it's like, they gave it to me. When I was right out of high school, and I took it for like a week, and I'm like, no, I can't do this. It caused all kind of problems.
Yeah, I believe it.
And you'd be like rolling off it. It'd come and go throughout the day, and you would not eat. You'd have to drink shit tons of water. It's like, I don't know why they make these things. Like, you don't need to. If it's between taking amphetamines and focusing, how about not focus?
Yes. Dude, so Adderall, I'm telling you right now, caused like a compulsive disorder in me. A disorder I did not have before. And it was the drinking. It wasn't, I can say that I was an alcoholic, but not by like
a partier version.
Not by what you would think when you hear alcoholic, where like people are craving it, thinking about it. If they can't have it, then they're drinking caffeine, and they're like, I never did that. It was literally like I was bored and I wasn't taught coping mechanisms like as a child. So as my young adulthood, I was a single mom and stuff, and like that, I hung out with people more when I was younger, so I would drink with them. Well, then as I got older, I stopped hanging out with these people, but I still was drinking, and then it turned into like I'd get on, and play a video game, and I drink, and I'd like talk, after my kids went to bed, and I'm like talking and drinking. I'd stay up real late.
Disclaimer.
It was just like,
I don't drink around the kids.
No,
people tell me that, and I'm like, what? The kid only takes like one beer, and then they're smashed. You don't got to worry about.
No.
But I definitely, if I don't watch myself, I instantly become an alcoholic. I have the most addictive personality in the world.
Yeah.
And I'll be at home after work drinking a 6-pack of
You
hams,
for
pounders,
sure asked me for
watching
Adderall.
retarded
You got
TV.
any?
Yeah,
Sorry, buddy.
well, I become anything real quick. Yeah, you could imagine. So I have to constantly be on guard.
But you're aware of it, and that's good. Like, that's really good. I became aware of what was going on here. And I was taking the Adderall because it helped me with work. I used to be in IT for like many, many years, like almost 16, 17 years. And it was
So
hard.
that would help you be real good at your job.
It helped me because I was like managing servers. It helped me it's like I was in the Matrix. Like I could like read all the numbers without looking at them individually, and I could do it accurately, and it helped me focus all the parts of my brain that are always firing off so quickly, individually and simultaneously, and it did work for that. So I was taking it so I could work, and then drink after work and stuff, because like that's what people did.
Drink with Adderall, or you get too. Well, no, actually, I'll be honest. When I would do the Adderall, when I was teaching myself how to use YouTube,
yeah,
I had a beer. A beer would sit next to me. It'd be like halfway down, and like 12 hours later, I'd look at it and be like, "Oh shit!" Like I'd be on the computer, 9 a.m. I'd look at it, it'd be 9 p.m. and I'm like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
Now I wasn't. I'm gonna be honest. I'd smash like fucking 100 milligrams worth and blow it off the top of the computer.
Ooh.
But, well,
anyway. My heart hurts for yours. Like
addictive personality. It's like anyone that watches this. It's like, I don't know. If I have to stop saying what I want, I'm not doing it.
Yeah, I got you.
That's how the last episode got fucking banned.
It did?
Yeah, for medical misinformation. I'm like joking the whole episode.
Medical misinformation.
And Animal G Bong of Hero of the Day broadcast, shameless plug, was on, and he's basically fucking Alex Jones.
Yeah.
And like the shit's, I'm laughing my ass off because he's hilarious. He's a funny dude, but we were mostly joking about shit. And he'd say certain things, and I just bust up laughing because it's fucking. I believe half the shit he says. I don't believe half the shit he says. But
yeah,
he's a really good host. Obviously, yeah. His show got banned, by the way. That's why he came on this show. I know. And this episode, he came on, got banned. He's a walking.
We'll see how
whatever the fuck.
I've tried to not say anything.
Fuck the government.
Like,
I dare you to fucking come over here and ban me, bitch. All right, go on.
I feel safe.
They're at the window now.
They probably fucking are. I don't know where, dude. I've never been in the military, and we get these like helicopters, and like there's an airfield up the street that like test runs all their biggest cargo shit right over my house, and I am like, I don't do well during the 4th of July, like all the fireworks and stuff. I'm like, but
You sure you weren't in the military?
I mean, I'm not positive.
No.
Pretty sure. At least the life they programmed right now.
How did you get to the rich people's neighborhood?
Remember that game I told you where you move the piece around? I moved my pieces in the right order. Yeah.
I do the opposite.
You're just like, fuck this game. You flip the table.
It's not that I self-sabotage. It's just I love doing crazy shit. It doesn't always work out.
I love doing crazy shit. Or I did.
I don't have kids, though. If I had kids, maybe I wouldn't be this way. But there's really no repercussions for me.
You know, I got pregnant when I was 19.
I don't get to...
And I had my first one right after I turned 20. And, like, that changed my life, obviously. You know, I did that alone for, like, 12 years. There was pop-ins from his father, but, like... then he'd like disappear. So, but aside from that, like, you know, he's back now and it's all cool and we're all like friends and we cook out and shit and it's funny. And like he lights his grill really dangerously at his house. I get to see this shit. We go over there the other day, right? And you know who you are shall remain nameless.
That's the only thing I worry about. I'm totally friends with him.
Oh,
and
no.
I'm sitting here like, okay.
No. I'm friends with them too. His girl's like my best friend. I love them. I love their kids. But like, so my oldest son's out there with him, his son, and they're lighting the grill, right? And he turns. I'm standing out there. I'm like watching him. It's dark, or it's like getting dark. It's cold. He turns on the propane. Then he opens his propane grill and starts pulling tools out of it. And I was like, all right. Then he closes it and he just leaves the propane on and never ignites it. And I'm like, what are you doing? And then he gets a paper towel and a lighter. And he lights the paper towel on fire.
Like a Molotov cocktail.
And he opens the lid. And he throws it at it and backs up. And of course he goes, right? And the paper towel goes up. And now the paper towel is these little floating fire embers of death heading towards the porch ceiling of his house. And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? And my oldest is looking at me and he's like, why is he doing this? I was like, do you need a grill lighter? Like, do you have an igniter? Like, I'll get you a fucking grill lighter. He's like, oh man, it's cold. I was like, cold does not negate fire. Like, in fact, it's worse because everything's dry.
He's like, this is the awesome way to do it.
But then he goes, and he was, and then he's like, it's raining. I'm like, it's not raining. It was not raining.
Like, if I wanted to cook on the fucking stove, I would.
Dude, he cracks me up. Nah, like he was having fun with it. It was all right. But I'm like, you know, my oldest and I we're like 6 feet plus tall, so we're like smashing out the embers that are hitting the ceiling of the porch, trying to keep his house from burning down. It's all right. See, we work well as a team. You know. Oh man. Speaking of that oldest son, he gets his permit. Well, he just turned 16. He wanted his permit so bad. It's like all he was talking about. So I went on this like hunt to find him a car, his first car, something he could go run around in. It is terrible out there. People were letting me test drive cars for like 10 grand with no brakes. I had to use the e-brake to get back.
Shit's expensive now.
Yeah, that's why
my first car was like $1,500, maybe even $800.
Yeah, right?
And thank God, because I wrecked the shit. You know, it was like man, the car was like smashed in. It had to be towed to the fucking shop. It's like when I was 16, I'd drive the car around the track field at Dover.
Oh, I remember.
And I'd drive it off the fucking basketball court because there's this little ledge, and it went like that and fucked up when your steering's fucked up. What's that called? Alignment.
Oh yeah.
Or something like that.
You could still drive it. It didn't like
That's
knock
why
the entire axle.
No, it would just drive like that unless I kept it.
Oh yeah, that's your alignment.
But
I do remember.
What am I saying? They should not give kids license at 16.
No. Well, he wants his permit. He's a good kid. Like he's.
From what you see.
No, like me and my kids we're tight. You know what I mean? Like I grew up in a household where like I was in trouble if I did anything out of line. So I wanted to make sure that my kids
didn't feel like
safe and like they can come to me with
things. Because then you can't say. Then if you have issues, you can't be like because you think you're gonna get yelled at.
Yeah, like I always want to be there for my kids. I want to help them. It's like my job to make sure that I guide them, you know, in a direction where they're going to be successful people. And like I'm also not dumb, and I know what kids do. I know what I did. So I'm like pretty transparent and clear with them on many levels about things, age appropriate wise, because I want them to.
I don't want you to do A, B, and C. However, I did to a degree, and I want or no.
I let my mistakes be their lessons. Like I have told them, like I said, age appropriate wise, like stories about things I've done, and had I not done them, like, you know, things would have been easier for my life, would have been easier for their lives. I would have been able to
cause these issues.
Yeah, there were
like
consequences of my actions.
Like my addictive personality, it's like, don't do that. It's gonna like to this day it kind of is like not productive to my life.
Yeah.
And it's like talking to the young ones. It's like, don't do that, because every time you see me struggling, that's why.
Yep,
and it's still to this day like that.
Yep, that's essentially how I lead my older ones, because it's just kind of like, you know, and I'm like really out there about things that I've done wrong. You know, I can admit them, and I can, you know, I can talk about them, you know, even if it's like we have a fight between us. Like I grew up in a household where like you're the kid, I'm the parent, you respect me, you're under my household, you're under my roof, you will do as I say, and like you have no freedom, you have no privacy. And
To a degree.
that
Oh, I guess you're saying it's not to a decent degree. To a degree, that's how it is. It's like,
to a degree, yes, that is that's structure,
but
basic
you have a
parental
say.
structure. But like my upbringing, I did a lot of things because I had a lot of like feelings that I didn't know how to process, and I was never taught to process even as a young child. So like, and then I became a teenager, and I was like, I know how I'm gonna fucking deal with these feelings, and I went out and I did like the worst possible shit because I was trying to figure out what the whole fucking experience was and like what I was missing. And in the end, I'm sure I would have gone much further in life had I not done those things. But I can't complain about where I am. I'm really grateful for
Yeah, you're in the
everything.
rich people's neighborhood. No, my parents were like that. It's not really like that. I'm just joking. I live in the city.
Like, I love you, Mom.
It's like my parents were like that, but to a good degree.
Yeah.
They're like, you live in this house, you do this. Unless you want to pay for your own shit, we're
Yeah.
paying for it. So you do this way.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like I didn't have. I don't know how to put it. It was good. It was in a good way.
I know what you mean. They had structure.
They gave me solid structure, but without being ridiculous.
Did they fight a lot?
Never. Or at least
See,
if they did, it wasn't. They did it up in the room where I wasn't.
it was never. Yeah.
Because when I
see,
got older, I'm like, you guys never even argued. They start laughing. They're like, what? We didn't argue in front of you.
See, and like that, I think makes a huge difference too. Like in my household, and I love my mother. I do. And I mean, no disrespect on my family.
Yeah, because she's
You know,
going to get on and watch this. She already watches all my episodes.
she's subscribed to you, my mom.
Yeah, every night. She just
You
keeps
guys like
rewatching, even
swapping
though she's seen them
lasagna
all.
recipes.
She's like, there's only 33 of them. Like, I can't.
When
I
you
keep
gonna have
having to
How
redo
much did
it.
she pay you to put me on here?
Like, oh, fuck.
You've been caught. No, like, no, I mean no disrespect, but like there was a lot of loudness in my house, and then there was this structure. So the structure probably would have been good had there not been other really detrimental and toxic elements.
There's different, because I grew up, like I said before, I went to a Christian school and I went to church, and I saw a lot of different types of parenting, and if I went to one of my friends' house from school, there was a couple of times when I was in shock. I was like, "You're not allowed to do anything, man."
Yeah.
Fuck. Like my parents were extremely reasonable. I wasn't allowed to do. They were real strict compared to so and so.
Yeah.
But in a good way.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. I definitely had friend groups like that where it was like I would look around and be like, I'm like lucky to have what I have, you know, and then I would look around at other places and I'm like, what the fuck? Why is my household so fucked up? You know, like I get that. And my kid, like, so my kids will straight up tell me when they like go to their friends' houses and stuff, just through conversation. This isn't something like they come home and they start spouting off info, but sometimes we'll just be talking and my kids will like tell me, you know, like, oh, our house is like I don't want to have parties here. My friends don't want to have parties here because our house is nice. You know what I mean? Or like just these weird little things that I didn't really think of because of my personality. I'm a very welcoming person. So I'm like, you can have your friends over. You guys can chill.
Oh, but they're like, we can't fucking drink this case of beer over there, man.
Well, no.
I'm not saying.
No, I will not allow children to drink at my house. Just so that's clear.
Like, we can't party there. Let's go to so and so's.
You know, but even like, you know, it's lightened up now because I tried to like loosen up some aspects of my house as far as like, okay, this is like your space. You can do whatever you want with it. Don't destroy it irreversibly. You know, don't burn up the carpet or put holes in the walls and things like that. But aside from just like the material view too, like my oldest especially is friends that, you know, they go through these things and then he's coming to me because he's there for them. So he needs someone to like refill his energy so he can be there for them and give it to them. And he's telling me like just these really sad stories and like these kids can't talk to their parents or their parents are the problem and they can't tell their parents, hey, you're the problem. This dynamic needs to change, you know, maybe not with that verbiage, but that's essentially
Yeah, there's two
what it is.
extremes. There's like, I'm not allowed to do, I'm not allowed to do anything. I'm not even allowed to watch TV because of
Hmm.
what might be on it. I'm not
I
allowed
was
to.
not allowed to watch
I
The
wasn't allowed.
Simpsons.
Oh, I was just gonna say I wasn't
Really?
allowed to watch The
Me
Simpsons,
either.
and that was like they didn't know. They
Yeah.
didn't. Whatever. But that's kind of an example.
Yeah.
And then there's like the fucking dad's smashing the dude's head through the wall, and so there's like two extremes there.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
My parents didn't want me to watch Simpsons because a show like that had never been on before, and they're like, it makes the father figure look like a retard.
Yeah.
And we don't, now they chose their battles, and as I got older, they're like, I don't know, we're human. We're all doing this for the first time. Maybe you should have watched The Simpsons. Who knows?
That's kind of my approach. I'm like, I want my kids to be able to experience life, and I want them to be able to experience it properly in the right time frame. Like me having a kid at like right out of 19, 20 years old. Like
Oh, it's definitely like I'm just doing this for the first time.
Yeah, well, not just that, but I missed out on like, it's like if there's these different lives that I have or could have had, or timelines, whatever you want to call them, in another one where I don't have kids that young, my life is completely different. I'm a completely different person.
Yeah, you had to stop chugging liquor.
Well, like I had to, I was young, so I had to like really set boundaries to protect this little person that I just made, because it changes you. I don't understand how there's like some parents out there that just don't give a fuck about their kid. Like fathers, I'm not saying like, oh, okay, like go ahead and walk out on your kid.
It just didn't come out of their body.
It didn't come out of them, so it didn't like chemically change them. There's not a chemical bond as far as that goes. Is that a thing,
like hormonal shit? I don't know.
For men?
No, for people that have children.
Oh yeah, it does all sorts of stuff. I almost died with my fourth one. Like I had really weird.
There's 4 of them.
I have 4 kids. Yeah.
Oh.
So my first one, I like went into labor with him naturally, and that was a 30-hour labor. And back then, they didn't give you the drugs to numb all the pain. You had to be like so far along in your progress of having the baby before they would give you the drugs, because the baby gets the same drugs you do. So that was like a 30-hour labor, but I was young. I snapped back. It was fine. Then with my second one, I developed like I went blind. I think it was in my left or right eye, and I thought I was having a stroke. I like fell down. My ex-husband and I were walking out to the car, and I like slid down the front yard.
It was a stroke.
It wasn't. They did MRI. What it was the hormones from the pregnancy was causing my pituitary gland to swell so much, it was pressing on my optical nerve, so they had to induce me. It's crazy. And like nobody tells you that when you
heard of that.
Yeah, nobody tells you like you can die giving birth, just being pregnant. It can mess your heart up. It can mess up your organs. It can give you like rheumatoid problems. It can do all sorts of stuff. Give you like horribly crippling depression and anxiety. And then with my third, I had some like kidney issues, but that was honestly
so it fucks all your emotions up.
Fucks everything up. Like with my third kid, I was so happy. It was like the happiest I've ever been in my life.
I'm telling your other kids you said that.
No, they know. Like with that pregnancy, they know with that pregnancy. I was like, I was just.
Their friends come over. That's the favorite over there.
No, like I was so just in good spirits pretty much all the time. Now I was in a different point in my life too. I was married to a different dude, and our lives were going well. Like just in general. I had him and things were good. And then I was like, I always wanted a big family. So I was like, I want a 4th kid.
I always wanted a family. It just didn't happen.
Could still happen.
But no, I don't know that I actually would have liked it because I'm not that responsible and I've tried my damnedest to be. And a part of me is just like, nah, I just want to go party or just want to go hike. I just shoot from the hip. I wake up, if I want to drive to Baltimore, I'm going to do it. And like, you can't do that.
No.
With it. You have to.
There has to be.
You got to choose. There's things. There's aspects to both lifestyles, and you can't have them both.
No. And then, like, it's hard too because you think, you know, everyone's like, oh, babies are so expensive. And you think you're gonna be putting all this money out, but really they get expensive when they get older. And what's hard, especially when you have multiple kids, is you have to be all these like I at all times am 5 different people. I am I am myself, and then I am the mother and person I need to be for my oldest, who is 16, for my second oldest, who will be 13.
Like that?
I need to be
You're
able to
not
be
schizophrenic.
on their what the fuck you say? No, no, yeah, no. You need to be like on their level, emotionally, spiritually, like, and in tune with them so that you can be there for them. Or you don't. You can just like say ignore it and fuck it, and then like they're gonna be like me, where they don't really understand what it means to be an individual and like and be happy until they're almost 40 years old. Like it can be achieved so much sooner if you just
A lot of it's
teach
the
these
actual
skills.
kid, though.
It is
Because I had my parents. All right, so I'll use my sister as a balancing example, so it makes sense. My sister was a lot more disciplined and mellow, and man, all A's. Got a what's that thing when you go to college and they like pay for some of it? Scholarship,
Yeah.
MVP soccer player, this and that. And then me, I could barely contain myself. I was all over the place. Like I wouldn't come home for days sometimes out partying, and they'd be like, "Dude, Aaron, come on, man." And there was the same parenting for both of us.
Mm-hmm.
There's that.
Well, like, did you feel like you could go home or like you'd get in trouble?
I just didn't. It was boring at home when I couldn't. Of course, I'd get in trouble if I come home drunk and I'm fucking like 15. I should get in trouble.
Yeah, you should. But the difference is you can get in trouble. There can still be punishment and discipline and structure while without like making you feel like you never want to tell them that you did it again.
Oh no, it wasn't
You know?
like that.
Like
No, it
I
wasn't.
mean,
I could tell. It wasn't the way that you might be thinking.
yeah. No, I'm speaking like generally. Like
In general, people.
yeah. I'm just like in general.
Yeah, if I come home drunk when I'm fucking 15, they're
Yeah.
gonna have something to say about that.
Yeah. Yeah. But like I don't know. I feel like a lot of people, you know, it's a horrible repetitive cycle. They weren't taught these things as children, so we just kind of go on autopilot through our lives, and it gets worse as we get older, and we become less attentive to the things that actually matter, and we become more disconnected with ourselves and the people that we used to be, the in tune people that we used to be that like to go out and have fun and do things and learn lessons. We stop learning lessons as we get older because we tune them the fuck out. We just approach everything the same way at all times. And like doing that is if you're a parent is like detrimental because then you're just going through the motions. You're not actually
some
doing
parents'
anything.
form of discipline is good and is well intended, and it actually stifles their growth.
Yeah,
I like
you know.
the thing I'm trying to do is you can't throw everything at the fucking parents because the parents are human and make mistakes, and some kids are just fucking insane, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Best thing you can do.
Because when I had a therapist once, she tried to blame my parents, and I stood up and cussed her out and slammed the door and walked out of the room. I'm like, it's me.
Yeah.
I'm responsible for my shit. You don't even know my parents.
Yep.
Little emotion going on. No, but it's like they try to do that too often.
They do.
Because you have, like I said, my sister's totally different than me, same parents.
Yeah.
But I get what you're saying.
Yeah. It's just like, you know, I just feel if you're there for them, you know, if you're just there, both physically and like attentively, like you're listening to what they're saying, you're actually hearing them and you're taking their opinions, their thoughts, all that stuff into consideration, they become much more well-rounded people than if you tell them what they're supposed to think. I mean, obviously lead them in the right direction and morals and shit, but like, you know, so
I believe it's if you love them, it's more important than how you discipline them.
Yes.
That's what I think. Because if kids if you pay attention to a kid, they won't misbehave as much.
Yeah.
Unless they're me.
No, like
No, I really wasn't that bad.
You weren't.
I
You're
just
not
like
giving
partying.
yourself enough
I just have impulse control problems.
partying.
Partying.
Partying. Maybe on
No, I
Trailer
do
Park
beat
Boys.
myself up. You know how many of my friends tell me that?
What?
That abnormally critical of myself.
You are. You are. We all are to a degree, but you are. Like I've heard you a few times now, and you're just like shit talking yourself, and I'm like, but it's not that bad. Like you own your fucking house. You're enjoying your life. We're doing this right now. You know.
I got the world's biggest
You
podcast.
turned down Joe Rogan so that I could be here today.
And he's like a third time.
I know.
Aaron, I need to get my name out there. And I'm like, dude, stop it.
You need to file a cease and
I
desist.
don't even know you. I only have friends online.
Yeah.
I want to have like a person that's famous. Not famous, but like a local person that's doing something cool on.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
And yeah, but I only got, well, whatever. That'd be cool.
So sometimes I message Pauly Shore bad dad jokes for fun. I do it to a couple celebrities.
Am I allowed
actually.
to talk about the trailer park? Or is
No.
that no?
Mm-mm.
All right.
Yeah. Yep. Got to keep that on the, low. But yeah.
She really lives in a trailer park. I'm just pretending
do.
that it's a rich.
It's a rich people trailer park where my car is already hooked up to my house, so I can just move it wherever I want. It's a compound. I'm starting a cult.
Is it like you like stand on a pentagram and chop off goat heads
I
and
haven't
stuff?
decided like what kind
I've
of
not
cult.
been able to find one like that to this day. I even read the Satanic Bible.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, this is gonna be awesome. They're gonna wear like masks and like drink fucking animal blood and shit. It was the dumbest book in the world. Stupid as fuck. Nothing cool in it.
Dude, I found this.
The actual Bible is more badass. I actually like the Bible.
I was just
read
explaining. I forget what we were watching last night. Me and my kid, and like we're watching something on YouTube, and this dude starts talking about like Lucifer, and my son's like, oh, isn't he like the devil or something? So I just explained like the Bible version of who Lucifer is, and he's like, that's in the Bible. I'm like, yeah, dude.
He was like the guy
metal.
that didn't.
But like,
he was like, God, I'm not following you. I'm the shit. And then he tried to fucking.
God and him were placing bets on humanity, and God was like, watch what I can put these people through, and they'll still follow me. They'll still, and Lucifer was God's first angel, and he was banished to hell because he didn't
know if God was using us as like an experiment.
It was like a whole, look what I can do to them and see if they follow me. And then Lucifer was like, yeah, but look at what happens if I give them the option to murder and kill.
Okay. I thought you were trash talking God. I'm like, when I was a kid, I did that. But.
Well, no, but God would like, I don't remember the name. I want to say Abraham, but that's probably wrong. He took his wife, his kid, all of that, and Abraham still. And again, that might be the wrong name, but I know that there's this story where
he was going to sacrifice his own child.
Yes, he sacrifices everybody.
And then he stopped them to do.
And no, in this version that I've read, this man loses everything and he prays to God. God says, pray to me. Yeah.
He took everything from Job.
That's it.
I don't know.
But it was like it's fucked up on both sides. You know what I mean? And so that's why in my life I don't necessarily follow any organized religion.
But I view it as metaphors and mythology, and it makes more sense that way.
It does. I kind of view things as like, I have a weird fucking view on stuff.
The Bible, though, is badass. And I'm not saying that just to sound weird. It is. It's fucking insane.
So when you told me that somebody turned one of these into a Bible study, you meant you?
No, it's not. It's like a.
I'm kidding.
No, Chad Johnson. He does this coffee. He does these coffee talks. You go to a coffee shop and just talk about your beliefs. And it's a lot based around the Bible. Yeah. And he was on here. And it was like a different type of episode than normal.
I get a lot of people that ask me weird shit like, "Are you a witch?" And I'm like, "No."
In what way?
Yeah.
You mean like a someone with magical beliefs or a bitch? And it's just witch can be like a worse way of saying bitch. Like
Well,
if you
no,
say,
no. They
man,
ask
she's a
me.
fucking evil witch. It's like, holy shit.
They ask me because of like I don't know, like the tattoos, and that's usually in public. I get. It's not often people will outright say
This
that,
thing with the
but
tattoos, it's not so much now, I guess, as like 10 years ago. It was like, I don't understand it though.
it's the types of tattoos that I have.
Oh, that's what you're saying.
Yeah. But, you know, I've had people like my kids' friends. My kids, they must be joking around. So I like cool stuff and I will collect like dead things if they're still intact because I think they look sick. So I have like these.
That's really normal.
I have Harold. He is a fully intact locust in a jar, and he has like a little card that says "Get well" in there, and he's like displayed on my mantle.
Like dead.
He's dead.
Like my dad had an insect collection.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah. And you know, and I like the pretty rocks and shit, but there's a whole like subculture to that where people are like, "Oh, you're a witch," and I have like the way my house is designed. I like moons and shit, and I like I'm like no, dude.
I knew someone whose dad collected heads or skulls. It was.
See, I would I
He'd see a
collect.
roadkill and stop and like take the skull out. And then at one point, I I don't know if the dude was just saying that, but he said he was trying to order a human skull on the internet from
I
some
would.
country that was legal or something. I was like, dude,
I like bones
I
and
would
skulls.
I would
I
like
like
to
to
have a human
I
skull.
like to carve shit out of bones.
It'd be cool if you could buy a human skull, like I have a.
I don't know why you can't.
I adopted like a manatee where you just give the manatee. I love manatees. You just give them money.
Aw.
You sponsor. You say you're adopting a manatee and they name it, but you're just giving the people money.
Yeah, yeah.
It would be cool if you could buy a human skull and they'd walk you. They'd give you like facts about the person's life and shit. Like, and
be
you could
wild.
choose one. Like that person's lame. I want this one's skull
Yeah.
and shit. I bet it would get bad. Like they would just start killing people to take their skulls to sell. Like anything.
That's the cult. That's the one.
Is that a thing?
That's the cult. No,
Oh, that's the cult.
That's the cult. I'm into it. Sign me up. No, like, yeah, I like, but like I make bone meal and stuff. In fact, I was supposed to do that with Becky. We were gonna boil some bones, and then we never got
Like
around to
those
it.
people that do keto diets do, like bone broth.
I was gonna use it for plants. Bone meal's real good.
Oh, not to eat.
I didn't just learn that from Minecraft.
Yeah.
I have a 12-inch sub I need to hook up in my car. I can't wait. I'm going to be obnoxious just like that. I'm so excited.
Dude, that's like rattling my whole house. I mean, I need new windows. These are half the windows, but like I was at the gas station and this guy was just playing his phone.
Yeah.
Loud in the store. And I looked at him and I'm like, dude, if you're going to do that, could you play some fucking decent music?
Yeah.
It's like I'm allowed to be mean to him because he's already being disrespectful.
I look like
he looked
such
shocked.
A
He
bitch
just fucking turned it off.
in public. Well, good. I hate that. I went to
the poor store owner is standing there and he's blasting. There's other people in there.
I went out to eat the other day and like this lady's sitting at the bar with her phone on full blast speakerphone, all these empty cups around her, sitting there alone, and she's just like, yeah, I'll let you know when I get, like, yelling like she's on a Bluetooth. I'm like, holy shit, shut up. Like,
at work sometimes in the break room, someone will put their phone on and I'm sitting there like, dude, how obnoxious and disrespectful of a fucking human being are you? I've talked to you before, you're cool. Why are you doing that shit? How were you raised?
Other people were in there?
Yeah, full grown people.
Why would you want
full
someone
grown
in on your
adults.
Conversation like that too? Like, and I'd be pissed.
No, it'll be worse. They'll be watching a video of like cars racing and shit, and it's so loud. And the one person was playing music, and I don't know if you ever heard of the band Nails. Nails, super fucking crazy, like power violence, grindcore shit. I
Hmm.
put their album on, turned it the whole way up, and blam, everyone in the break room's like, "What are you doing, man?" And I turned it off. I'm like, "What the fuck's he doing?" I thought it was annoy the shit out of everyone day.
Yeah.
And everyone's looking at me like, Aaron needs to calm the fuck down. And I was a little over the top, but I had it. Full grown
You,
adults that have no respect. It's like they don't even realize.
I love your lack of filter, though.
Yeah, fuck them.
We need more
You should.
people like that in the world.
Like when I got pulled over by the cop and I was like trying to go to work and I was like, dude, can we do this some other time?
Yeah.
You're pulling me over for my registration. It don't even fucking matter.
Yeah.
There's crime going on. Can I go clock in? He was pissed at me. That's probably why I lost my license for the whole year. Because if I was the cop, I'd be like, dude, I perhaps don't drive home. Take care of this shit.
Yeah.
He was this little punk ass 20-some-year-old kid. No life experience. I don't care if he's a cop or whatever.
I thought about becoming a cop.
I don't care if you're my supervisor at work. I don't care if you're a cop. I don't care who you are. I'm going to tell you when you're doing something stupid.
Yeah.
Just got a little bit
they're just
emotional right there.
You're good. You're good. I thought about becoming a cop there for a while. I thought about becoming an attorney. I was dealing with these motherfuckers all the time, and I like was learning statutes and shit. And I'm like, you know what? I could just do this for a living because like I wouldn't even need to.
Probably be easier job than I do. I actually took the test. You got to pay $40, and you take this exam to be a cop.
That's it.
And I'm in this giant room with all these like ex-military. I found out it's mostly ex-military that become cops because I'm talking to the people.
I believe
in the
it
room.
because they always
And there's
show
like
up looking
20
like
uniformed cops walking through. They hand me the test. I take it, and it was pretty easy, but parts were hard, and I didn't know you could have a calculator though. But they would have these questions like if somebody did this, and it like a paragraph of a situation, like who's at fault and what would you do, shit like that. That was hard. The rest of it was easy. I just wanted to know.
Like,
I'm weird like I just wanted to know. I didn't look like you were supposed to look on this website. I didn't care. I just wanted to know what they did.
It's like not a lot of screening.
It wasn't like they were more respectable people than what I thought. I just get irritated.
Well, you get irritated with
they were
abuse
pretty
of power.
decent human beings. They're pretty good people actually.
Yeah.
A lot of them are. It's just I think their bosses like talking to them like we're not we're lacking funds and we need X amount. We need our
they need
stats
to look
up.
Useful. If there's no crime, they need to find some so that they don't get their budget cut.
So they pull you over for stuff like registration. It's like, what does a registration even do? Nothing. I don't think it does. What the fuck does it even do? It's like there's people in New York shooting each other.
Yeah.
And you're not even you're too chicken shit.
They're scared to go in like certain places around here.
And I would be too. That's why I'm not a cop.
Yeah. No, for this city. This city's like
York's pretty bad though. For such a small little place.
It's got too many people in it. Everyone's like crammed in here. There's no funding. Like the system that is in place for people that need like housing and food and all of that is so fucked that they can't even like people that legitimately need it can't get off of it, can't get out of here because it's just a way to keep everyone down.
But it's full circle because if I work overtime, I get slapped for it. If I work like if I do 55 hours, that's about it'd be 56 the way but that's about it. I'll stop because anymore I'm working for free. So they take money away from me. Obviously, I'm not rich if I'm working that many hours.
Yeah.
So they hold me down. Then they take that money, give it to those people, and those people will actually have more money that way than if they get a job. And so it's this big circle that holds all of us down.
It's a system of oppression.
All of us. It holds the poor people down and the workers down at the same time. And then they both get mad at each other.
Well, right now everything is the way everything's going, and like this isn't inflation. This isn't oh, that's what I'm saying. I feel like we're on some kind of fucking show, and like somewhere there are people in a room
Oh, that's what you
watching.
were saying about the Rick and Morty thing.
Yeah, like somewhere
I didn't
there
quite
are
get it.
people or like entities in a room, and they're fucking watching us as humans, and they're just like,
For their own
watch
entertainment.
this. Yes, their game board is bigger than say mine to get where I got to. Their game board is like the whole world, and they're just like moving the pieces around.
Like
so
when
that
you got a hamster cage and you throw the little toy in, see if they play with it, kind of like that.
Yeah, they're just like moving pieces because like, man, there has been such a huge inflation spike, and now they're talking about moving the minimum wage up, which does need to go up, but like just the way that and then it's kind of is like one of those people that are already making that much. Are they going to get a raise? Probably not, because they're grandfathered in at the lower rate anyway.
Yeah, so that's why I always argue raising the minimum wage don't do shit.
Is to get rid of the middle class and
Yeah,
move the middle class down and move the upper middle class up.
That's what they do with communist countries. That's what they're doing now. No one believes me. That's why I joke when I do it, but I call everyone fucking commies. That's why I'm joking, but at the same time not. But the problem, it's not that intense, because a lot of communist countries, what happens is the people that are poor get pissed and resentful and angry, and they fucking kill all the rich people and then starve because there's no one there, and then people, and then it ends up
with plague.
It gets so bad that they're eating their own children, and on top of that, they start like engaging in genocidal massacres by the end of it. And then you say that, and people are like, well, they don't get it. They don't know how.
And again,
it works.
this goes back into social media.
But you
media.
You start by killing off the work, by eliminating the working class.
Yes, it's feeding the brain all of this nonsense to keep you distracted from really stopping, putting for and like looking around. Oh, gas prices are high. I can see that. But if I look at Facebook, here's why. And like, shut that shit down a minute and look around you. Like, if there's any lesson that I have learned that has been, it's up there, right on the top shelf, it is follow what you can see with your eyes and like you can experience yourself when it comes to like determining situations or what's really happening in the world versus where you get your news from. Think about it like kids. Like we were talking about kids, right? You can have a little kid and you can tell them all negative things, and like 100% of the time that kid is going to thrive on negativity and chaos and trauma and drama, and if it's not existing in their life with you, they will create it with somebody else. Now, that's because you are their only source of information, and that is the information that you are giving them. You are wiring their brain to operate in a certain way, to learn that survival is based off of this bad thing happening and this bad thing happening and these bad things they must happen in order to get to an unobtainable point that we set way out here if you do all these things.
Or you think, or you think maybe their neurological pathways grow in a specific direction. Peptides are like emotional drugs, and they grow in a specific way, and they'll go through withdrawal without negativity.
Yes.
Or is that what you're saying?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Like, so you can essentially cultivate this. Now, I'm using a parent and a child as an example for where we get our information from, our social media platforms, our news platforms, and then society as a whole, this colonized society that we have that we call the first world. That is the child of whomever is really feeding the information. Now, I do believe there's war. I do believe there's famine. I'm not here to discredit any of that. People often will come with this, rhetoric of like, oh, it's social media just telling us bad things. And then they don't really, they kind of discredit in that same sentence, like that hunger fucking exists and that, there are horrible things happening all over the world that we don't see. The problem is we are being fed these very specific things. And in the end, it is always to get our money. And in the end, to get the money, we must do the job. And to keep the machine running, we need people to do the jobs. So we need more cogs. So it's just sick, like,
you just made like the screen. I don't know. It just went dark real quick and back when you moved your hand back.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think it's as bad though as what they make it, because people are starting to lift out of poverty globally, everywhere, compared to back in the day. And that aside, though, anyone in the United States that's constantly bitching that they can't afford shit and they're poor,
Mm-hmm.
I, I'm gonna have to say they're poor because they suck with money. And I'm gonna have to say this is the easiest country to live in at the easiest time to live in.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't put things in perspective because
there's a lot of entitlement here that really
little
like
bitch ass kids. It's like you don't, if you own a TV and you're starving, you suck with money.
yeah.
You don't need a TV.
Yep.
But that's only the beginning because everyone has a TV. But there's all this other shit they don't need at all. You need food and shelter and a job,
At the same time,
or you're a little punk ass bitch.
at the same time, there are places like cities where
Oh yeah.
people have to live there for job, for work, for money reasons, right? It is actually easier to get a TV than it is to get freshly grown food. You know, so people in these big
Yeah.
cities are depending on prepackaged foods that are full of chemicals, that are full of
Yeah, they
fucking
call
bad
there's a
shit.
word for that. But yeah, like Detroit, that's what happened.
It's a fucking food desert. That's what it's called. A food desert is a place like a city. You know, I'm not talking about like an actual desert.
Because there's more people than there is jobs, and there's no land anywhere near it.
Well,
You think?
I think it's again a way to number one, we're massively overpopulated as a species. Number two, like mental health is not being taken care of. So these people that grow from children to adults, no matter who their parents were, how they were raised, you know, are lacking some skills because the way that they needed to learn them just
They
wasn't.
don't all have two parents,
or
and they don't all, and that then the ones at work, and they're just at home goofing off.
yeah, but they don't have like. There's so many adults now that are living in poverty because they were not taught the proper skills to live within our society. Just because talking about things like even within a period of like 25, 30 years, talking about things like mental health, depression, bipolar, schizophrenia, things like that was not acceptable. Like if you had that stuff, you should be locked up, right? And that's just not how it works. Like now these things are being managed better. Mental health is being looked at much more closely, which I do find
There's
to
a
be positive.
schizophrenia is there's a full spectrum of it. You could
Yes.
be debilitated, or you could be just kind of a little weird,
Yeah.
little off.
Mm-hmm.
It's not all split personality either.
No, it's not.
But oh, what the fuck was I gonna say? Oh, but here in York, Pennsylvania, I grew up around here, and it's just so damn easy to survive. I was like, how do people even struggle? Because
Yeah.
we got like, I can throw a rock and hit 10 damn manufacturing plants.
Mm-hmm.
If you live in York, Pennsylvania, and you got financial problems,
It's on you.
unless there's like in general, everybody's situation is different, but you're probably lazy.
Yep.
But anyway, the point is, other places aren't like that. Some places have no jobs.
Yeah.
And shit. I didn't think about that as a kid. I'm like, dude, I don't get it. I really don't, because I'm extremely irresponsible. And I bought a house. I bought the house at 22 years old.
Yeah.
And it like, the only thing I did responsible is get a fucking job, or that's the only thing I did to survive. Is get a fucking job, and it's not that hard.
There's so many, like, I do have a hard
get
time on the internet refraining from getting into fights with, like, younger people that get pissed off about being a landlord or what they're like, passive income. I'm like, but anyone can do it. And if you do it, it's still an investment of money that you made somewhere. Like, I don't know. It's just, there's a lot, like you said, there's a lot of fucking entitlement, like a lot of entitlement. You know, people are like, it's going to be impossible for me to buy a house and have a family.
Well, maybe it should be if you're going to
35.
act like a little bitch.
Exactly.
Or maybe it will be.
Exactly.
Because whatever, it's like that thing, like, if you say it is or isn't, either way you're right. Whatever that saying is.
Well, you like
whatever you
manifest
keep
it,
saying to yourself is true.
you manifest
Eventually.
it. Yeah.
But people around here saying that is absolutely insane. There's so many jobs in this area. And The thing about me buying the house though at that young age, I wasn't prepared
Yeah.
because I had to take out a $13,000 loan because my heater broke and the house was slanted in the basement and shit. I wasn't prepared, but I made it
Yeah.
through. But I have a locked in interest rate.
Yeah.
So my mortgage is extremely low compared to the inflation.
Mm-hmm.
And I buy cheap ass cars and pay them off in like a year or two.
Mm-hmm.
So I have it pretty damn good.
Yep.
I don't struggle.
Yeah.
I just forget to open mail and they'll like shut my utilities off and I'll be
I'm
like,
the same
fuck.
way.
You know, I got a candle lit,
I try to like
no
help.
electricity.
Like I have friends that have struggled, and I try to help them, you know, like in any way that I can without being taken advantage of. I've only had like one or two people ever take advantage of me, and at that point I was like, oh, good luck with your life, but I'm not going to be there next time you need me. But like you're right. I mean, people that are usually down are down because of their own actions or lack of actions.
My parents taught me a lot of really good shit though. A lot of people don't hear
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, that's good. That's really good.
Because I think most people struggle because they buy a lot of shit, not because they don't make a lot of money.
Oh yeah. The more money you spend, like, and then you think, okay, I'll do this when I come into money. I'll save money when I get more money. That's not true, because if you're spending the money now and you're not saving money, then when you get more money, you're just gonna spend more fucking money. Like look at the data. You know what I mean? But if you're saving money now, even if it's only 10, 20, you know, $30, $5, you're saving that every week, chances are as you get more money, you're going to save more money.
And you know what I do? I have automatic deposits, but I have two banks. One's a credit union. Every single check I get, $100 automatically hits the other bank.
Yeah.
And I don't even see it. I don't budget. But if I did, I'd only be budgeting off $100 less. So every week, $100. So $400 a month goes to some bank, and I don't even see it. I'll look at my, what's it called, balance.
Yeah.
From that bank every now and then, and be like, oh my god.
Yeah.
And then if I run into some problem, I still try not to use it.
Yep. I'm the same way.
And then so I'll look at it and be like, Jesus Christ, man, because I know I have impulse control problems and I can't trust myself in that. I have to almost tyrannize myself.
But you know that about yourself, and you made sure that there was still a way it happens, almost like it bypasses you.
Yeah.
You don't actually have to do it. You had to do it one time. You had to like set it up, and then it bypasses you. And like, I just
so I got a no car payment, a really low mortgage, and I accidentally every now and then I'll check and I have all this money in my savings, and it's like I don't know how to put it. It's those three things right there is like all I have to do really.
Yeah.
I can go to the bar and spend like fucking $80, and someone's like, dude, how can you afford that? I'm like, how can you afford a $30,000 car?
Yeah. They can't. It's all borrowed. It's all borrowed, and then they end up spending more on like the fucking interest, especially interest on a car. Like, I
don't even know what that's like. I've never bought an expensive car in my entire life.
My estranged husband went out, traded in one of our paid off cars for a more expensive car. He did need something else.
I love that word, estranged.
Estranged.
It's almost badass.
Well, I mean, we're friends, you know. He's a good guy, but we are better as friends than we are as trying to be partners, it seems. There's like a definite communication and comprehension barrier that like we can't get around, you know.
What?
So I almost re-explained myself. I was like,
I do that to my boss. I'm like Gonzo. You know what I mean by Gonzo? I do that at work, and like I had my review, and my boss is like, well, you know a lot. You're good at this, this, and this, which is very helpful, but you don't ever listen to me, and you start shit with me, and I can't ever tell if you're being serious or not. I'm like, thank you. I tried that, so I can make.
I'm glad it was well received.
Well, I can say stuff and I throw a little jab in there.
Yeah.
And I like be like, well,
you do it
being
pretty
goofy.
seamlessly
I'm being because anyway.
No, I know what you're saying.
What the fuck did I say? Whatever.
No, I get it.
I don't even know what that was from, but yeah.
We were talking about fucking saving money and shit, and like how it's not hard. It's not.
It's not. You just have to
Like my parents were not rich. I did not get money after my father died. Most people, like if they are going to come into money, it comes out of inheritance. So like the best thing you can do if you have kids is to have a fucking whole life policy that's worth real money. A whole life policy. Real quick, you know what this means? This is good information too. Y'all should fucking have this. Whole life insurance policy. You own it. You only pay for so long, and then you own it forever, no matter what. And when you die, that can be used for expenses, costs, all that stuff. Then you can also carry a term life policy, which is a lot cheaper, but you can get it like a 10-year term life policy. So if you die within the next 10 years,
well, I'm always against life insurance because it seems like a scam to me.
dude, I will tell you right fucking now.
I guess if one of your parents passes, you like if your car breaks down, you can't just be like, "Yo, could I bum a couple $100? I'll get it back."
You actually can borrow against you can accrue what's called cash value in a life insurance policy and a whole life policy, and you can actually take money out of it, and that's your money to put wherever you want to do whatever you want to do with it. But I'll tell you right now, like my father canceled his life insurance policy out of a fight or something with my mom, got diagnosed with leukemia like a year later. I don't know the exact time frame, but he got diagnosed with leukemia, and after that happened, like nobody would give him a life insurance policy. So we went through all of this, and then my dad, inevitably died, and there was no money, there was nothing, So life insurance is important if you have people that you want to be taken care of.
I'm not getting
after you died. Yeah,
I'm an asshole. Fuck them.
You're
No,
like,
I don't have
pay
kids.
for my funeral. Bitch, make a GoFundMe.
Just fucking burn me into ashes and roll a blunt with it. I'm good.
I was with you until that. Like, I'm not smoking an Aaron blunt.
Now I'm being an asshole. That funeral thing. All right, sentimental.
No,
stuff. But honestly, I don't need a funeral.
Mm-mm.
Actually, I've been to some that weren't expensive and what.
I like the celebration of life idea. Like everyone that knows them gets together and like reminisces together, brings together all those different experiences this person had with these separate people, and brings them all together and tells the stories.
To me, it's for the family.
It is. It's for
the
closure.
Family. It's like everyone can come and be like, "It's all right, we're here." Type shit. You're not alone in dealing with this shit.
It's for closure too, though. Like the acceptance that this person's gone, and so you kind of like talk about the stories that you had with these people, and you hear the different things that they did with these other people, and you get to experience their life in another way. That's the type of ceremony. Like if there would be a ceremony when I, pass over. That's
I ain't
the one
gonna
I want.
go.
You're not? You've already decided? You're uploading yourself?
Not important enough.
Oh man.
That's the shit I do at work. I told my supervisor, Aaron, you haven't done this quality check on the computer, and I did the first part, and it says the first part was at a certain time, and when you finish it, it still says it's that same time.
Yeah.
It's like 5 hours later. Why didn't you do this thing? I'm at the computer. I just turn my head. I'm like, it's still gonna say it's at 11. And then
I did fucking do it.
Fire me. I've had it anyways.
Yeah.
I'm losing my mind here.
That's shit.
Ever since COVID, what are you gonna do? Get rid of me? I'm the shit at my job.
Yeah.
I piss everyone off in a position of authority. But they told me I was bringing morale down. I'm like, I'm bringing morale down for you.
Yeah.
Not for the actual employees.
Yeah.
Maybe they're right. I'm leaving anyway.
What are you doing?
I think I'm doing everyone a favor by leaving.
What are you gonna do?
I have an option to take a similar job with our competitor up in Liddit, so that's a while. That's a drive. Yeah, I'd probably get a better position because they don't have as many. They have one of the machines that we have just installed there, and no one knows how to use it. So I look like an expert, and then Zach Groff might be getting me this job doing CNC machines, which I did throughout my 20s. I don't know. I might take some other shit. Right now,
Have you considered taking the proposal for, like, if you have this other job in the bag, taking that proposal and taking it to your boss now and being like, look, I'm either leaving to go do this for better money. I don't care if it's further, it's better money. They're going to compensate me, and make sure that they do. Make sure they know, you know, because you're valuable to them. So they'll do what you want them to do, and tell them, like, I need extra pay for whatever. But my point is, take it to your boss currently and, like, give that proposal and be like, I'll stay if you can match.
I want to
this.
leave.
Oh, well,
It's
then.
one of those, I've been there for like 5+ years, and it's one
Yeah.
of those that my whole life's not going to pass by behind these fucking walls.
I respect
I've
that.
never had a job that long. I get bored, is what
Yeah,
happens.
I respect that.
And they know, because I've caused so many issues you wouldn't believe.
Yeah.
But they know, they knew I wanted to leave before I did.
Yeah.
Kind of deal. I told the head guy, and he's paused for a second. And he's like, okay.
Yeah.
He's like, okay, I get it. Well, yeah, I don't want to stay. But that's a good idea to put leverage. Like when I go to a job interview, I'm interviewing them.
Yeah.
I'm like, show me your machines. And if they walk me around the shop and they're all broke down, I'm like, nope.
Yep. Yep. That's a good
what
way
you
to look
gotta
at
do.
it too.
You gotta interview your employer, not the other way around.
Mm-hmm. You gotta make sure it's a good fit. Like,
it's like, I don't need to work here if I don't fucking want to. Tell me why I should work here. And
yeah.
it's supposed to be that tell me why you just
tell me why you want to work here.
Tell me why we would want you to work here.
Yeah.
But I don't do it that way.
Yeah.
I'd do it that way if I had no experience.
Yeah. That's the only way to do it if you have no experience. But once you learn your value, you become a lot more like valuable. I didn't mean to use that same word in the, you know what I mean though. I hate it when I fucking do that. Then it's like I have an intelligent thought and I end up using the same word twice in the same like sentence or two, and I'm like, well, no, I sound dumb.
That's the only time I'll backtrack on a post.
Yeah.
If I say that same word.
I do that. Yep.
I gotta get off there. I gotta delete that shit again. It's almost embarrassing that I have Facebook to me, because every time I delete it,
silently judging yourself.
Yeah, every time I delete it, I feel so good. I walk outside and look at the sky, and I'm like, life, I'm back. You know. And then when I get back on it, it'll be fine, and then it'll just start sucking me into these rabbit holes of nonsense.
Yeah, you gotta like. I used to like to confuse the shit out of the algorithm every time there'd be an ad, whether it was relevant or not. I was like, not relevant. And for the longest time, they did not know what to advertise to me. I was getting all sorts of stuff. I'd get stuff like
they advertised some fucked up shit to me. I'm like, God damn, am I like that?
Yeah, me too. I started getting weird ones though. I started getting like ads to participate in like these weird closed studies for like brain manipulation with electrodes and like drugs, and it was crazy. I was like, whoa, they're listening.
That makes sense.
They can hear me. Have you ever thought that maybe your thoughts aren't your own? Like not your own, like you're not doing them, but like
they're making it so you would think that.
Well, no, like your thoughts that you're having, like it can be heard somewhere else.
Oh, I believe that.
Yeah, I've always.
Not your thoughts, but like your like if I'm in a mood where I'm not speaking, my mind's kind of shut off. I'm doing this. And a couple people I'm close with at the time, they won't text me. And then if I'm in a mood where I'm like different, or I'm thinking about them or something, I get a text or something. And not like clockwork.
That's like universal.
Like
that's like universal thought. I think.
And it might be bullshit, but I kind of think that. I believe that.
Well, no, I mean, think about it. Like when somebody on one side of the planet has an idea.
Carl Jung believes that.
Fuck's Carl Jung?
he's a psychologist.
Oh.
He's a psychologist. He created that concept, the collective unconscious. It's like Freud and Carl Jung are like the two biggest psychologists.
Yeah, I didn't.
Freud had a lot of fucked up ideas that half of them were true. I don't know how people perceive Carl Jung. Maybe he's not as huge as I think.
Yeah, because I had
But he
no
created
idea.
that concept, though.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. That's where I was going with this. Maybe he didn't create it, but he's the one that put it out there, because there's been so many issues where like I had this idea a long time ago to create. I wanted to create a garage door that like it was a screen door and it would go up with your garage door and then you could slide it down separately on the same track. It would like caterpillar down onto the track off of your garage door. So you didn't need to install a new track, you didn't need to do any of that. And then like a year later, somebody did it. So it takes about a year and a half to like create and patent something. So at the moment that I had that thought, somebody else had that exact same thought, but they actually went through with like creating a patent. I was young and I don't even know why I thought of it because like I wasn't a homeowner, you know, but I had this idea and I was like, oh, that would be cool, you know. And then I had another idea about because I'm a mom, the infant car seat thing. It's such a pain in the ass. It has like the infant car seat is separate from the base, and the base stays in your car. And then there's also this special stroller that you plug everything into, and like you got to carry 9,000 things with you all the time. So I was like, what if you could just put like accordion style wheels in the base, take the base out and drop them, and then they lock into place, you know. And then of course Japan
You could
ended up
just
doing
leave
it.
the fucking kid at home.
I'm just saying that it was invented then later, like, you know, and not by me. So I think that like universal thought
Yeah,
is
I think it's true. It just sounds. I think it's almost. Jesus, I think it's almost measurable in a way, but it sounds so magical or ridiculous, like a hippie would think of. Like, oh man, the hippie thing. I ate so many mushrooms in my life, and like, you ever talk to one of those people that's done so many psychedelics, and you're like, that dude's fucking. Listen to that shit he says. I'm that
just
guy
that one
now.
time.
I'm that guy now. I actually believe in shroom gods, and I
Yeah.
totally wish I didn't, because I would love to say I did not believe in shroom gods,
Tell me more.
but I do.
Shroom gods.
Because I had a quarter pound of mushrooms. I used to push them to weed dealers, and I had a quarter pound of. People don't keep buying them because they don't get addicted to them.
Yeah.
So I had a quarter pound of mushrooms in my closet that I couldn't get rid of, and I just sneak a little piece here and there, and then I just out of nowhere, like it progressed because of my personality. I don't know how you get addicted to mushrooms, but my personality, I upped my dose to like 5 grams a pop, and I'd be doing them twice, 3 times a week. And if I started thinking something that didn't make sense, I would lock up and not be able to move, like physically lock up until I corrected it. Because when you do so many at a time, it's a little different than when you do a standard amount.
Yeah.
And what the fuck am I talking about? Oh, I'd correct my thinking,
gods.
and I don't think it was me correcting my thinking. Now, they also could just be my subconscious out in the open, but I think it was shroom gods.
So listen,
I wish I didn't think it was shroom gods.
There's somebody that was close to me as a child. I can't say their name because
Bob.
again goes back to the mantis thing. But at one point they took NyQuil and for some reason it put them in the hospital and like they lost all like bodily function control and everything. And they said, they were like, it was the weirdest experience because it was like somebody was like turning the volume up and down in my head. Like I could hear the room and then I couldn't hear the room. It was like I was like taken out and I was like in a control room all of a sudden and they were like fixing stuff and changing the volume and changing the lighting and all of that. And then like I came to once it was all fixed again. And this is a person that, at least as far as I know, has not done mushrooms, at least not in that capacity, or really any like illegal substances.
I think anyone's done mushrooms in the capacity I just said.
No.
I almost, anyway, I think I almost went schizophrenic at one point. If
It's
Pat
possible.
Weaver was not there to save me.
It's possible.
I learned a lot, but I would not suggest doing that.
No.
Anyways, go on.
No, it was just like, it kind of falls back to that, like, I've had these moments even in the past year where, you know, I can like hear myself, but it's now I'm making myself sound nuts. I can hear myself, but it's like not myself. I kind of call it my celestial self, and I can like feel it all over my body, like goosebumps, like from like on my scalp, like all over my body, and like I'm connecting with something that is outside of like this time and space, and
yeah, that's what
it feels like electrical.
But when I would feel,
but I didn't do a bunch of mushrooms.
I kept I don't know.
No, this is like
But I had this like dirt spot on my wall in my room. It was like this big, and it was like a dirt spot. like dark blackened spot on
Yeah.
the white wall, and I would use that to gauge how fucked up I was because you could see it like.
Yeah.
But when it would kick in at higher doses, the spot I could tell by the spot, but I'd hear this, and then this like weird shit in my ears. It was like this, and it felt like someone was like, "You're here now."
Yep.
And if I like the one time I obnoxiously said before I ate them, I'm like, I want to know every fucking thing there is to know. Don't ever do that shit. That's the night I went crazy. I think God was like, yo, I'm going to drop a little tiny piece of knowledge on you that you will not be able to comprehend. And you'll wish you had never said that
I've
shit.
had that happen, but like dead sober. Like, I know what you're
well,
talking
then you
about.
might just be schizophrenic. No.
I'm not. No, I'm not. I actually just recently had full brain MRI too because I was having these moments where I was feeling disconnected with my body, and I thought I was having like absent seizures or stroke or something, and so they did like a full brain scan with like an MRI, like with and without the contrast, and the doctor was like, "Your brain is like awesome," and I was thinking, like all the stuff I used to do, I'm surprised, but it's just like the function's awesome, and like there's a lot of active spots at this simultaneously in your brain.
I had to fuck my brain up a bit just to be able to communicate with other people.
Yeah.
I'm that smart. I
I
had
get
to
it.
dumb it down a little bit.
I know you're talking about the sound. I used to hear that sound.
Oh,
I
that's the
lucid
thing.
I
I heard it.
I lucid dreamed for the first 23 years of my life,
I did
like,
that
and I
before.
could not stop it. So like every night as a child before I would be able to fall asleep, I would hear crowds of people. I've never been in New York. I've never been in Times Square, but I always knew where I was. I'm standing in Times Square. Nobody can see me, and I can hear everyone's thoughts, and they're loud. And I'm hearing like grocery lists and like what people are doing for the day, sad people, happy people, homeless people, rich people, people that are doing like bad things, like, but I'm hearing it all simultaneously, and I'm not fully in a sleep state. I'm aware of these people. I'm aware of the temperature there. I'm aware that I'm outside. I'm aware that like I'm not dressed appropriately usually. Like it was cold, it was raining sometimes, and people
Were you floating?
No, I was standing like right up against a building, and I was just watching.
But everything looked like it would. It
Like
wasn't like a dream where it was abstract. It looked like it would.
No, I could see faces and I could hear the thoughts. And
I had that where I was sleep. I only did it like once when I was a kid, once or twice. But I walked the whole way up to Giant and walked through Giant and back. I don't know if that's. It wasn't a normal dream, like where you would see weird shit.
They call it astral projection.
Astral. That's what I call it.
And I was doing it
astral projection,
like without control. So it was like it really fucked with me for a lot of years too. But
well, you did it a lot. I did it once or twice.
I did
it's
it
not
every
normal
night.
to do it all.
I did it every night. I would talk in my sleep and I would talk to people, and my mom would be like, I used to have night terrors where like I could not wake up, and it wasn't until I got older and I learned to like control these things. Like when you go into that sleep state where your mind and your body aren't synchronized and they're not like asleep at the same time, your conscious part of your brain is still going, and then so is your subconscious part, and then your body is either in a wake state or in a sleep state. And it's like really fucked up because there's different combinations give you different experiences, and they are like experiences. Like I have had dreams that, and I still have this, where I will remember things that happened that never happened because it was a dream, but it was a dream so clear and vivid. It's like I was just experiencing, I was having an experience somewhere else, and it's filtered over into my conscious mind, and now I remember it as a memory versus a dream.
And that's like the collective conscious thing. You should read Carl Jung, because that's the same shit that he just talks about. And if you talk about it to a normal person, they're like, "The fuck?"
They don't understand.
But one of the most famous psychologists ever talks about that shit.
It's that
maybe he was
sound
fucking crazy.
That you heard. I remember there's a very specific one.
Like a boom.
It was
a kind of sound, and then it was like you've arrived. But that I was on mushrooms. So that's expected.
I wasn't.
Expected.
And I remember laying down on my bed. I was at my parents' house. I was maybe 16. And I remember, like, I had my twin-size bed in my closet. I remember my closet was green. My room was dark blue. Like, I can remember all these details about it. I remember trying to fall asleep, and I was like, I kept startling. You know how you have those moments where you startle, like you're falling down the stairs or something, right? And you kind of like shake.
Sure.
Like right before you fall asleep, like your body will twitch. Sometimes it would startle me. I startle pretty easy. It would startle me right out of my, like, falling asleep.
I
But
actually don't like that.
you don't? It's a shit experience. I
I
don't really
start
have it
thinking.
anymore.
I start thinking crazy shit that doesn't make any sense right before I start to fall asleep.
Me too, but like
No, I don't do that.
sometimes it would be like my body and my mind weren't in sync, and one would start to fall asleep and the other one was aware of the room, and it would, But this one specific time I started falling asleep, and I heard and it was like really fucking loud, like the air was making the sound. And all of a sudden I was standing on my mother's back deck, and I was looking out. There's like where they store all the carnival equipment and stuff back there. It's like warehouses, and it's like back behind the elementary school. I don't want to like get too into location on here, but there's like a lot of grass and stuff, and there was just this white figure. It wasn't illuminating anything, but it was glowing white, and it was female. I know it was female, but I couldn't really make out any distinguishing features. But it was looking back at me, and it was just, and all I could do was stand there. The air was so thick, and then I was like petrified, and I was trying to wake myself up because I was also aware that that my body was in my room, that I was sleeping in my bed. I could feel my bed. I could feel the fan on. I knew my window was open. I could feel the pillow, but I could not move, and I couldn't breathe. My breathing was
So
like,
you knew both.
that's like how I was breathing, because I couldn't. It was.
You actually were comprehending what was happening.
Yes, it was there. Whatever it was there, and I could hear the tone.
That was the tone.
Yeah.
So the shrooms put me in the fucking
maybe they opened up a part of your mind that's like
happen to automatically go to.
Yeah. I had to learn to like shut a lot of those doors, because.
So maybe they're not shroom gods. Well, I can call them whatever I want to call them, but maybe that's what it is. The collective, whatever the fuck.
There's something. I mean, there's sayings like "we are the universe experiencing itself," and to a degree, I could see that, but there is a part of me that believes we are. I don't want to say believes. One of my theories is that we are experiencing ourselves simultaneously on an infinite level of like things that could happen, of experiences. Like this is just one version of infinite versions of what's happening right now in my life and for you. And
they all exist in the same time.
They're all happening right now. Okay.
When you're in one, you see it as if there was all these different.
You said to me before I came over here, I said, I want to do my makeup. And you were like, that's not the bong ripping skateboarding teenage Jenna I remember.
Yeah, because you're a skater.
Yeah.
That rips bongs.
And I'll just tell you, because fuck it. Like, in February of 2021, I was going through my transition to better my lifestyle so that I could be the person I needed to be. I was sick. I was really fucking sick. And I wasn't addicted to anything. It wasn't that. I was just really sick, without going into like too much detail. And I'm standing in my bathroom, and I don't remember what I was doing, but the lights were on. It was nighttime, and I felt something run through my chest like a fucking train. I've never experienced anything like that in my life before, and it ran straight through my body. Like I felt it go through my body, out my back, and just run through me. And when I like came to, I was like, not where am I? I knew where I was, but I did not feel the same. And I didn't understand what it was. And as I've been, since that date, since that happened, and since that feeling, have you ever seen Donnie Darko? The movie? Okay, you know how he sees like everybody's path coming out of their chest? It felt like something like that, without all the other stuff. It ran straight through me, and there's a part of me that believes that, like a train track, somehow I I swapped timelines because
You know, I had Shag on here, and he literally talked about that.
yeah, something happened to me, Aaron. Like it really fucking did. I am not the same person that I was, and I have these memories of doing things, and I can't. It's not like I feel like it wasn't me, but I do. I feel like it wasn't me because I can't comprehend why I did some of the things that I did. You know, like I can't. I look back at pictures, my face looks different. Like I look like me, but there's something different about me, and we all
Your
look
facial
different.
expression,
Something,
something like that.
yeah. There's something that's the way I present myself, the way I don't know, the things that I remember. Like it's just so strange, and I truly feel like there is the version of me that was here 2 years ago died right there in my bathroom, and I
Is
came
that what that movie's
here.
about? It took
I
me.
have no
I had
idea.
to watch that movie like 10 times.
I was just referring to that imagery because that's what it felt like. It felt like this.
It's like you think it's about one thing, and another part of it doesn't make sense to that. I watched that movie a lot, and I think I got a grasp of what it's about, but it still doesn't work right. Maybe the guy that made it.
I think it was more just like a piece of art, you know.
Yeah.
I only
Everyone
refer
takes
to
it so seriously, though, and I can't. I think it's not
it's not meant to be taken seriously. Just like Magnolia, you know what I mean? Like
fair enough.
yeah. But I mean I don't want to sound like crazy. Like I'm fully put together and I'm like cognitively there and I don't have moments where I like black out. I don't remember what I did. Like I'm not crazy. I'm not schizophrenic. Any of that. Something happened to me though, and like I know it did, and now I'm putting it on fucking internet. It's probably a mistake, but like, but like, I I think I mean I don't know. I do not know. I know that the person that I was or existed before that moment does not exist now.
Guys,
And
I
did
try
not
to give her a
exist then.
cameo every episode. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. I was like, you want me to shut up? You want me to change the subject?
No, I was just the cat was right there.
No, it's alright. She saw I put my hair down. She's over here like, but like here she comes. But yeah, so it was
So
really
weird. That's not like a concept I've never heard before, though.
yeah, it's not weird.
So
But maybe
it's
it's
not
weird.
like you're
Maybe
crazy.
it's weird because I can tell you for a fact I wasn't doing. I don't do drugs. I don't, drink. I don't do any of
Sorry
that.
to hear that.
I was dead sober when it happened, and since then, that's when I started being able to like connect with my celestial self. Like that's when I started being able to have these moments where I felt whole, like in tune, 150,000% with the universe. I could feel purpose and it just comes and goes, and it's like out of my control. And it's one of those things where it's like, hey, and then they tap in on you and they tell you what they, or not they, but you know what I'm saying. Like you receive the information you need to receive, and then it's gone. But it's like electrical.
Oh, it's probably like that shit I was talking about. I couldn't move till my neurotic thought corrected itself or some shit. Except, unlike you being in a little more healthy state, I'm tripping on shrooms, killing a 12-pack of hams. So I might have been a little bit more jittery about it.
Yeah, or you weren't able to like receive it. You weren't able to receive. You like locked up like a computer. Like you had to like reboot to receive the information. That's possible.
I am epileptic, but no, it wasn't that. No, all right, guys. Maria, Jenna.
Just call me Jenna.
Why Jenna?
I like
just something different.
I like to mix it up. I like to confuse people.
I'm confused.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, episode 4 of season 2, second attempt. Maria, Jenna. And that's about it, man.
Yeah, I gotta pee.
You got any last words?
Like this whole time, I'm like, I gotta pee.
All right. We'll see you guys on another episode. We won't see you guys. It doesn't even make sense, but it makes about as much sense as fucking Donnie Darko.
Yeah.
All right, that's it. Peace out. And go fuck yourself.